Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of man actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Robbie, 3 sheets to the wind, Bellekom, Sam, ships that meet in the night, Burns, and Ellie, seamen all over the poop deck, Sparrow.
Yes.
Apparently today it's all nautical themes.
Goodness,
Yes,
how
that's what that
on
was.
brand of you.
How rarely on brand.
How unusually on brand.
Usually on brand. Happy 150th episode, everyone.
What?
Yeah. We are 150 episodes in.
Happy
Bloody
150th.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Ah, that's really cool.
We're still younger than Norrit.
We are
Yay.
still younger than Norrit.
We are still younger than Norrit, probably all of us combined.
But
Yeah.
if all of our episodes were years, we would now be older than people generally in the world.
Yes. That is true.
But never older than Norrit.
Never older than Norrit.
No one is older than Norrit.
He's got a bit of a head start.
Yeah.
Speaking of a head start, it's time for us to use our heads to bash through the walls of temporality and demand of future us what headaches from the future. It's Future Jason with messages from the present. Ahead of our usual messages, we'd like to put out a bit of a call for aid. Our friend Sarah, or @spicy_burritos on Twitter, is one of the pillars of the Stowaway community and set up the fan Discord. They're also going through a bit of a crisis right now. While we won't go into the details, they're very much in need of financial support. So if you can spare a little cash, please send it their way via their Ko-fi link, which we will put in the description of this episode. And if you can't, please do spread the word instead by sharing the link via your choice of social media. It really does help, and it can make a lot of difference. Thank you. This episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs is brought to you by, would you have guessed it? You. That's right. As ever, a massive thanks to our crew members on the Flintlocks Patreon who help keep this ship sailing. There's a wealth of extra content and bonus features for patrons, including regular blog posts, extra stories narrated by the cast, artwork, and a monthly poll for the community to help design an element to go into the game. Typically an item, creature, NPC, or environmental feature. You can check it out at patreon.com/flintlocks-and-fireballs, link in the description. We are an affiliate of dndice.com, makers of beautiful specialty dice since 2010. Whether you need dice because you're masquerading as a vampire, calling Cthulhu, or are some sort of pathfinder gathering the magic munchkins, you can click through our affiliate link in the description and grab yourself or a friend some particularly sexy dice, or a particularly sexy dice bag. We're also an affiliate of Zavvi, fine producers of nerdy garments and handy household items. Remember that you can click through the affiliate link in the description and use code FLINTLOCKS20 to take 20% off clothing and FLINTLOCKS10 to take 10% off not clothing. And that's it for announcements this time. Back to you, Past Jason.
Speaking not at all of headaches, like not even slightly, but like in no way speaking of headaches, if you started at the beginning and you're listening to episode 150, that's really cool.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
And also thank you
so
Thank you.
for being interested in that amount of us talking
That's
and that
awesome.
amount of our story. It's really cool and we love you.
If you
Probably
jumped
listened to
in
like
at another
500 hours of
point,
us.
What was
if
that,
you,
Bob?
if you jumped in at any other point or just started, thank you.
Oh god, yeah, that wasn't to discount anyone
Oh,
who
no.
started anywhere else. I just had a sudden moment, but some people
Yeah.
have been listening since episode 1, and that is
Yeah.
wild.
You know who
But even
you
if you
are.
haven't, frankly, if you listen to one episode and this is your first one, hello, thank you,
Hello.
join us. I hope
We
you
love
enjoy.
you
have a good
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've listened for an hour, I'm flattered, Yeah. Great.
Genuinely.
Right. Well, I can't think of anything more to say, so on that front then, let's begin.
Ah.
Flintlocks and Fireballs.
Ah.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs, the party are approaching the 22nd of Falling Leaves, 1798, when it is known to them through visions from the future, the flotilla of support ships from Syria will arrive, companies of redcoats in tow, to attempt to break the siege, or at least break the defence of the siege of Newmark. At the same time, due to arrive, are the Scarlet Winds, the slave-freeing pirate alliance, of which the party are members. However, a couple of days before all of that, after resolving the long-standing gang dispute within the city of Newmark, the party found themselves with a day off. A rare day where they were not engaged in death-defying missions. Celestia took this opportunity to finally have a date with Sorrel, a human lady from Haldanos, I believe from the Song province in the Empire, in the New Tang Empire, in Haldanos specifically, who had come over through the Dreamfold with Clara, their current associate, and maybe child hag. There are some questions. Before we proceed on to the day before the expected battle, though, Scamp and Corzin, is there anything in particular you would like to do on the 20th while you have your day off, beyond bombing Celestia's date with cloud writing?
I mean, that pretty much covered it. I'm sure there's something more useful we should be doing, but...
I was going to ask Celestia at some point if it would be okay if I could dream to little Corzin.
Oh.
You'll have to catch her when she's pissed after a date, so...
Yeah.
Okay, when would this happen? Just snogged around, thrown myself into a hammock back in Scamp's room. Good luck.
Right. I mean, if it's not possible, then it's not possible.
It's gonna be a yes. You just gotta ask.
Okay. Well, I suppose we would have gone back to the ship ahead of you, so maybe I would have just had a word with the person on watch to let me know when Celestia gets back.
Oh yeah, you get forewarning. You're the captain. So I can say that you can kind of accost Celestia as soon as she's stumbling her way towards Scamp's bunk.
Okay, I snogs around and turn around and Corzin is there, is what you're saying. Ah, fuck, what?
Oh, sorry,
Were you there that whole time? That's really fucking weird.
No, of course I wasn't.
How fast did you get here?
I just moved very quietly is all.
Can't you kiss a person on this ship without at least two people looking at you?
Hello.
Look, I trust things went well. I just wanted to ask if it would be at all possible if you could help me dream to little Corzin.
Yeah, sure, of course.
It's been a couple of days, and I know that I miss him. I know he must be missing us.
That's very sensible. I'm drunk. So...
Okay.
Just
drunk?
just spot me up the stairs to your cabin, okay? I need a spotter.
No problem. No
But
problem.
yes.
Absolutely fine.
Yes, I will dream, because... Yes. Excellent.
So...
Corzin will spot Celestia.
Fine, getting Celestia up the stairs, up to your cabin.
No, this is all you. This is all you. Come on.
Okay,
There we go.
I'm
There
doing
we
well.
go.
Look at my legs that are working.
Yep,
I had a
definitely.
real date and my legs work. Yeah!
Just
Just drink some water before you go to bed.
I laugh in the face of water. Ha ha ha.
You
Yourself.
come in as Molly is in the process of trying to straighten out some of the knots in her hair before bed.
I know this struggle.
Well, bet you do.
So upsetting.
Why do you have a drunk Celestia in the...
I just love being here after my dates when I'm drunk, Molly. It's just the place that I come.
You can't do it for 2 people, can you?
I don't know. Let me look in my mental library of my spells.
It's not concentration.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I can. Can I just 2-2?
You can do cast it twice, yeah.
If you had the spell slots, yes.
I mean, I've not used anything big, so I don't see why not. Something weird might happen because I've had a lot to drink, but if you're both willing to take that risk, I will dream a dreamcast on you.
I'm fairly certain that Molly would be aware by this.
Oh yeah, I think you've literally dreamed.
I think you've
tomorrow.
fucked Molly in the dream form.
You have done that. Yes, that is very much.
You've definitely fucked Molly in the dream form before this point.
Yeah,
she knows this is a thing. She hasn't been sent in, but she's been met there. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. You could do 2 of us at once.
I hadn't really thought about it, which seems stupid because. Molly.
The situation hasn't really called for it.
Molly,
before,
did you just say that as a sentence with a little smirk on your face because you disgust me?
I'm sure you're imagining it.
That's my wife.
Right. You're adorable. Stop it. It's disgusting.
Okay, now stop imagining it, please.
I didn't imagine a single
me and
thing.
my husband.
That's not a thing I want to think about. No.
Good. Now, hit us with your strange sleep magic and let's go visit your son.
Yes. Somebody needs to find this bottle in my bag because if I do it, it's going to take hours.
Okay, one moment.
You're okay with me doing it?
Yep. Okay, I think you've seen the contents of my bag before. Watch out, there's poo in it, I imagine.
I imagine I'll just reach around that.
A little bit Jeffrey Pooh.
Gotta say, you after a date that went late was an interesting time to do a big spell.
Well, I didn't want to impose on you beforehand. I hope everything went well.
Oh, it was lovely, actually. It was really nice. I like her. She is good. Kissed her.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Alright, I think I've
Well
got it.
Thank you. Is well
Easy-
done what
easy
you
to
say
find.
when people do kissing? Is that the right thing? I will take it. I like it. Yes. Well done, me. And good kissing. I'm pissed. We should do this soon or I'm going to fall asleep in your bed or something.
Is it reasonably easy to locate?
I mean, it's a small bottle of Gnomish brandy in Celestia. Celestia's bag does not have organisation. It's just a pile of stuff. So I imagine you have to take out things to get it.
Fair enough.
You kind of rummage a bit.
I'm just making this realistically annoying because she's pissed.
Oh yeah, it's fair.
How did you roll a minute ago? I'm so curious.
So, I could roll randomly to see what I find first, but no, let's just
Finger puppets come out. It's paper. Whole
forgot
monkey
that
turd.
right. Okay, here it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. Hang on. Where are you? The rainbow
Down
spirit.
here.
No, not you. Hello. There you go. Come here. Could you do a dream, or are you drunk too?
Rainbow
Spirits
Spirit is like,
get drunk.
Could you still do a dream? Mm-hmm. 2 dreams? Mm-hmm. You do 2 of them? Mm-hmm. To the same
Sounds
place?
octopus. Can you get drunk?
Maybe. Oh, the end of an octopus looks at you, looks at the Rainbow Spirit, shrugs.
They're so helpful.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
Probably never tried.
if you don't end up in the same place, just both think of little Corzin, and it will lead you to him.
Alright.
So just do that, and you will end up at the same place with your tiny, small child. He's very small.
The Rainbow Spirit puts like 2 strands together like a pair of fingers mimicking small.
It's like a centimetre.
Yeah.
That small, exactly. I'd advise you both lie down because people tend to fall over.
Alright.
And we
Molly
get
sits
some
herself
dirt
down to bed.
off the floor. There we go. Some dirt.
Wait. It's like, what are you going to do with the dirt?
Fling it into your face, and then you're gonna fall asleep. Basically, I put my finger in the gnomish brandy, put it in the dirt, rub it between my hands. Here it's the rainbow spirit.
Molly turns to you, Corzin, like, I'm not sure that. She looks around just as the rainbow spirit hits both of you in the eyes.
I told you to lie
used
down.
to
You weren't quick enough.
And you both slump backwards onto the bed.
Night.
Celestia?
Wend my way down.
Both of the people who helped you around and the person who helped you get up the stairs have now just passed out.
I'm pretty
Interesting
sure Scamp
situation.
will have been waiting up, though, and will have heard most of this.
Fair enough, then I'm not going to make you roll a dex save to avoid just like slipping.
Face planting.
I mean, I
Face
will
planter.
just stand and watch for a few moments, and then help.
Ooh.
With Scamp said, you stumble your way back into bed. Speaking of which, Corzin, roll a d20, please.
D20, okay. A 3.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You slump backwards and hit the cool, splashy surface of your bed.
Splashy.
You blink,
Remember my bed being splashy.
pick yourself up, and you are sat in what first looks to be water, but it's a little bit too reflective. It feels weirdly heavy as it clings to you and trickles down. And it takes a moment for you to realise, from the strange smell in the air, that you're sat on... Your best guess is Mercury. It's just a seemingly endless, flat plane of mirrored glass, stretching in every direction.
Weird.
Probably about an inch deep to whatever is below all the mercury, but you just see ripples like spread out from you, and then calm.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to stand up.
You take adjust yourself, stand up, a little bit of splish splosh. You see little weird rivulets of silver run down your legs.
I was going to say, is it beading like Mercury?
It is, yeah. It's
Have I arrived in a thermometer? Strike that. I don't know if they would have had Mercury thermometers.
They
at this
do.
point.
They do. They
Okay.
absolutely do. It's around about this time that one bastard Fahrenheit is about to invent a new one.
Ah, right.
I don't know why I'm denigrating Fahrenheit so much. Like he was a very skilled instrument maker.
Okay, so looking around, am I just like on an infinite radial plane?
As far as you can tell, you do look down. You can see little flickers of rainbow fire and light around you. They do seem to suggest a direction, which there's no like clear light source. It's just silvery mist.
Okay.
So everything is evenly lit, but yeah, it just seems to be going that way. Also, no sign of Molly.
Yeah, okay, that's a point. I'm going to think of both Molly and Little Corzin and see if anything in my surroundings changes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, the little flickering intensifies for a moment, and you kind of have to hold out a hand to see it, but you actually see that there's two little trails of light pointing in almost exactly the same direction.
Oh, right. This is starting to make sense. I follow the trails.
Okay. As you trek onwards, it takes you a while to notice it, but this flat plane isn't perfectly flat. It very slightly slopes.
Oh, like down
Up,
or up?
upwards. And it just seems to And you keep following it and it just continues to slowly, gradually go upwards. And then on instinct you look back and you see that it's also sloping upwards in the previous direction, like behind you. And actually it's like you're in a very shallow bowl, and there's not really a horizon so much as a point when the silvery mist causes everything else to fade out of sight.
Okay. So is the level of liquid underneath my feet still constant?
Yep. Like it's clinging to whatever surface you're on.
Okay. I am going to... What have I got on me? I am going to, first of all, just push down with one of my feet to test the consistency of the substance I'm walking on, because presumably if the liquid is on top of it, it's obscuring it because it's opaque.
Roll a not sight-based perception check, please.
Okay.
Touching things with your feet check.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 28.
Feels like glass.
Ooh.
Like solid glass. That's weird.
Like you scrape your foot around, it feels like smooth glass. It's kind of hard to see the glass because there's all the mercury in the way.
Weird dream thermometer then.
This would be the weirdest walking experience.
Yeah. I'm going to continue cautiously forwards, following the trail in front of me.
Okay, you carry on walking for what starts to feel like hours. You're not really sure how much time is actually passing elsewhere. You know that time works a little weirdly here in the Dreamfold.
Getting really bored of this now.
Oh yeah. How would you say your emotions, emotionally, how is Corzin feeling after, say, what feels like about 3 hours of walking?
Okay, but after 3 hours, he would be, even though he knows that time works differently here, he has no idea to what extent one way or the other it does. So... if it feels like 3 hours to him, he's frustrated that he, can't find Molly or little Corzin, but also is probably a little worried he's wasting time.
Okay, would you say you're starting to get a little agitated?
A little bit. He'd be picking up the pace, certainly. It's there's obviously a way in front of me.
You pick
One thing
up
I
the
would
pace.
also be paying attention to is the landscape changing around me.
Well, interestingly, it's about this point you start to notice the level of although it still feels like smooth glass beneath your feet, the level of the mercury has gone up to about your calves, top of your calves now, nearly towards your knees.
Okay, so it's deeper.
You're wearing boots as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, that's all you notice for now. You keep treading onwards.
Yeah.
The flicker of rainbow leads you forwards. After another hour, it feels like you're no closer. It just keeps seeming to suggest onwards. How are you feeling?
More frustrated. He'd be trying intensely to picture both Molly and little Corzin so he can get to them. Also, after a while, he'd probably be calling out Molly, Corzin, anyone?
Okay, it's now halfway up your thighs.
Not liking this. Okay, against all reason, he is going to take his hat off, which he obviously still has here, and try and stick his face through the liquid and see if he can get through to the other side.
Okay, so this is going to be an interesting one. The first thing you notice is that the mercury is warm as you plunge your face into it. It's also just a pitch black. The light is not coming through. It's like sticking your face into liquid metal.
Right.
Your eyes sting a bit as well, and
Don't try this at home, kids.
don't try this at home. And you're definitely having to keep your mouth and nose closed to avoid the frankly liquid metal kind of getting down your breathing holes. It's like clogging in your ears, and it's uncomfortable. How would you say you're feeling about this situation?
Properly annoyed now.
Okay.
I'm stood here, trying desperately to do something and nothing.
Yeah, you can feel your face against the glass. The mercury's heating up around you. As you pull yourself straight back up, it's now getting up to your chest, and it feels quite warm all around you.
I mean, if it's up to my chest, I'm probably going to opt to try and swim.
Okay, yeah. It's really difficult because it's metal.
It's mercury.
Yeah, it's mercury. And it's still you can still feel the feet below it, but it's a slog. It's frankly a really difficult, tiring slog. How long do you want to keep trying for? Do you want walking for or swimming for? Do you want to try anything different?
I'm going to keep trying to follow the trail if I can, but also I think at this point Corzin will be searching around trying to find some alternative means out of this situation. Like he's not going to choose to wake up, but he's also going to be thinking about, okay, so is this some sort of trick that's just leading me in an endless cycle? I've got to, recenter myself. I've got to find a way out of here.
How would you like to do that?
I am going to... would that work here? Sod it, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and cast Locate Creature.
Okay. You focus. The dream avatar you have is able... Although the... It's interesting. Although the ambivalent octopus and the fish spirits are not here, you still feel your connection to them. And there's just a moment where your arm, where you almost feel like your eye turned fish-like.
Okay.
Locate creature. Which creature are you trying to locate?
I'm gonna try and locate little Corzin, as he was who I was coming here to see.
Forward, but also down.
Forward, but down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
you're
getting probably a 45-degree angle, sort of forward and down. Also, as you continue frantically searching, you just feel the mercury get hotter and hotter and rise higher and higher until you're having to essentially tread metal to keep your head above liquid.
Right. Okay. So is it sort of perpendicular to the way that the terrain was sort of sloping upwards?
Yeah, if you could go forwards without going up as well.
Right. Okay.
It also feels like the terrain has become more clearly curved. If you look forwards a bit, you can actually see the horizon go upwards, and kind of hit almost it would feel like a waterfall of mercury, except that it's not falling; it's just in position. It is very slightly shimmering, though.
Oh, okay. So it's there's a point up ahead where there is nothing below the mercury anymore.
Yeah, you look behind you and it's the same behind. It's like you're in a huge ball.
Okay, I'm going to keep going for another 5 minutes and see if it gets visibly closer to me.
How frustrated are you feeling? In fact, how are you feeling generally?
Still frustrated, but he's focused at this point. This is a problem. He is solving it. He is, doing at least something.
Okay.
that's probably
The
more the
level of
overriding emotion at
mercury
this point.
stays about where it is.
Yeah.
You carry on for another 5 minutes, and it feels like no matter how much further forwards you walk, that sense of kind of forwards and down as locate creature is what you're getting.
Okay. And yeah, that's the thing, actually. The locate creature doesn't really change relative to me, does it?
No, it just gives you a point to direction. Like if you like it. Although actually, what do you
my
mean?
point is, like, if I am moving in a direction, if I know where the creature is, the angle to which I am moving relative to it is going to change, isn't it?
That's an interesting thing. Well, you're heading, assuming, and I have been assuming this until you say otherwise, that you are heading directly where both the Rainbow's Flex and Locate Creature are pointing,
Yes.
then the angle is not changing. It's still 45 degrees down.
Okay. In which case, then, I am going to try and dive under the surface, reach the solid glass, and try and break it with my belaying pin.
Okay. Make a strength check at disadvantage, please.
Okay. Just straight strength.
Yep.
That's still a dirty 20.
Okay, it's really fucking having to struggle against it, but you manage to get enough down that you think you hear muffled a sort of... It feels like you've managed to make a crack, but as you do so, the mercury starts to... Well, it doesn't boil, it's already it's liquid around you, but it starts to get hot enough that it starts to feel scalding. How does that make you feel?
That is going to be first, anger and frustration, and then small amount of fear.
Okay, the temperature
yeah.
spikes for a moment, gets even hotter. I'm going to say, by the way, that your dream form, record your hit points separately for this, takes 12 points of damage, and then it suddenly chills a little. Going back to merely uncomfortably sauna hot.
Okay. So that was how many hit points, sorry?
12 to your dream form, to your eidolon, if you will. But yeah, you've managed. You think you've made a crack.
Okay. I'm gonna take a moment to center myself. Dive down again, find the same place, and hit it, trying to widen the crack.
Okay, can I ask for a wisdom check first,
Wisdom
please?
check. Okay. Natural one, but lucky.
Hey.
Okay, that is a 22.
As you kind of try and summon the anger and frustration to get to break through, the liquid around you heats up to burning again, and you just get this moment of mind-numbing, soul-chilling fear. It's that same fear you felt when Olga had your family behind those walls. And was about to set the whole place on fire. And the moment you get that chill, the temperature around you drops, and not entirely like a stone, but the liquid sinks down to your chest level, and you feel it cool to sort of warm cup of tea temperature. And then you just take a few breaths and you get yourself under control enough before you make your next strike. Make a strength check. Still with disadvantage, because you're kind of trying to smash into a large amount of liquid.
Okay. Corzin will be kind of taking note of this as he goes. But, that's a real shame. That's a disadvantage. Okay, that is 11.
Okay, You feel a thud, and maybe you think something cracks a little further down there. You're hitting the same place, but it doesn't crack much. You've got maybe one more attempt, you reckon.
Okay.
Tell me how you
Corzin
want to proceed.
Yeah, Corzin is, given what he has observed, and knowing at least vaguely how Dreamfold logic works, he is going to take an experiment and think about the time in Kion where it became obvious that it was the Kraken attacking again, because that was the a notable time that he felt fear. I mean, there are plenty of other times, but like deep down, pit of your soul, abject fear.
Okay, can I ask for a wisdom check with advantage, please?
Okay. Okay, that is a 17.
You cast your mind back to the just soul-chilling terror of the moment you saw the waters part and that eye. And the liquid around you just sinks down and down and down until there's just a thin coating of mercury over a glassy floor. Half an inch thick.
Can I find the area I've been hitting?
Yep, you take the blade pen and just scrape with it a little bit until you find the bit that's cracked. And at this point, you don't even need to do a check. You smash once, twice, 3 times, and with a shattering of glass, you are pulled through. You burst out of a mercury thermometer on a fireplace, just ballooning up into full size, and you land sprawling on the Ferosian rug of Norrit's old cabin. You remember coming here as a child.
Yeah.
You're not the only occupant, because nearby you can see, sat by the roaring fire, is little Corzin and Molly. Little Corzin looks up. Ah!
I run to them and embrace them.
Molly gives you a tight hug back in the group hug.
Oh, I was so worried.
That's all right. You're only a few minutes behind me.
Where did you end up?
Just ended up actually right outside. There was a little garden full of just these weird, like metallic shaped, coloured fruit.
Oh, I ended up in like an endless sea of mercury. I was going for what seemed like hours. I was really starting to get worried.
I've been here for like 2 minutes.
Time works weirdly here. There's no rhyme or reason to it, as far as I can tell.
But hey, look at it this way. We're all here as a family. I didn't think we could do that.
Regent, yes.
This is so cool.
Yes, it is.
Little Corzin gives you a tight little hug.
Yeah, and after that moment is passed, I'm going to look back at where I've emerged from.
There is just a regular-sized mercury thermometer with a broken bulb at the end.
Now, did Norrit actually have one of those?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it checks out.
Yeah.
It checks out. Because that would be the first thing that it'd be looking around for. Is like, okay, I remember this place. Does anything look different?
Roll an intelligence check for memory, please.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a 19.
Ooh,
Okay.
Nice.
There's a couple of new bits that you don't remember Norrit having. There is a little ship. There's an additional ship in a bottle amongst the several that Norrit did have, which
What's the ship?
you recognise as the ship belonging to Shawshanks.
Ah, right.
The ghost ship. Let's see. There
This is
is
a dreamfold. Are there tiny people on it?
not that you can see. It just appears to be a matchstick model.
I figured it was worth
Though
asking.
it's weirdly translucent, like the real one.
Oh.
There is a little snow globe with a tiny image of Kion in it. But Kion as you last saw it, so in the process of reconstruction. Let's see. There is a log on. There is in the pile of logs next to the fire. One of them has been carved into a little facsimile of the keep next to Werrick's watch, the one that they set on fire for Elder's Day.
Looks like Norrick's taken to collecting places as well as stories.
You also see, would it be a small handkerchief with a blue and white design in the style of a prow ramming the Kraken, and next to it a little snow cone. There, one is like placed by the other.
Ah, brilliant. Okay.
There's probably like about 20 or so of these just little items that seem familiar, but Norrick didn't have them.
Okay. I wonder if we stumbled into somebody else's dream about Norrick, or was this the dream you were already having?
I was having a dream about sitting next to a fireplace. I think it was the one we had back when we lived in Werrick's watch. But then when Mum came, it got a little bigger, and then a moment ago, I turned around and all of this was here.
Weird. Well, I'm going to tell you about the man who lived here. I've probably mentioned it before, and I'm going to regale little Corzin with as much as big Corzin can remember about the various different items and the stories attached to them that he recognizes in this place.
It goes on for some time. With your perception, I will say there is one other thing that stands out that's not familiar to you, but
Okay.
when you see it, sends an inexplicable chill down your spine. It's not exactly fear, but there's something about it. On one wall, there is a timepiece, smaller than the mariner's clocks you're used to seeing,
Okay.
but compact in a similar manner. What will eventually be a pocket watch, probably no bigger than 3 inches across.
Oh, okay. I am going to examine this.
Yeah, it has it does have a small engraving on it. C. Horhace.
See what it is.
He was wearing a pocket watch in the future, wasn't he?
Yeah, out of character, that I'm making that connection, but of course, Corzin wasn't there.
Corzin wasn't there. Corzin's no idea. It just feels.
I do
strangely
actually
weighty.
remember saying to you, because I was describing how little Corzin was, I told you he had a nice watch. But up to you whether you'd remember that or not. I legitimately remember saying that, because I was telling you whether he was married and like what he looked like and what he was doing. And I said he had a fancy watch because he was doing well.
Well, Corzin is going to examine it for a moment, and he's going to take it over and give it to little Corzin and say, "I think this must be for you. It's got your name on it."
So it does that. Oh, it's really small.
Yeah, it must be very intricate, so be careful with it.
Oh, okay. This.
I wonder why we've all ended up here, of all places.
Molly looks around. I don't know, but it's quite cozy. I'm going to say
Yes.
for all the stories you told me about that old man Norris, it's definitely knew how to keep a comfortable living environment.
That he did. And maybe it's somewhere that well, I always remember one of my binding memories of this place is feeling safe. After what it took to get here, it's a welcome change, I can tell you.
Well, I always feel safer if you're around, Dad.
I give him a big hug.
And you carry on telling Norris stories until it's time to let all of you get some natural sleep.
Yeah.
When you kind of feel it is that time, you and Molly step out of the room and you see like a little sort of soap bubble almost re-encapsulate Corzin Jr. as he returns to whatever dream he was having before that little bubble fades. Molly kind of takes your hand. Thank you for suggesting
I'm just really glad we could do this.
Me too. Hell of a couple of days coming up.
Yeah, and no matter how far away from us he is, I want him to know that we still love him and we're still looking forward to being all together physically again.
She squeezes your hands.
I squeeze back.
Right. How the hell do we wake up?
I think you just sort of have to choose to.
Like sort of, and you watch as her form starts to slowly
Yeah, I think
fizzle away
I
like
think...
sea foam.
Alright. When I wake up, I am going to politely request you never do that in real life.
She giggles as her form just fades away, and your own does, and you return to a deep, natural sleep. Celestia, roll a D20, please.
Oh, God.
Oh,
wow. 4.
How are you doing on tallies?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Hang on. I think it's quite bad. Just trying to find out where I last wrote them. Where did they go? Oh, it might only be a single pass. That feels optimistic. Hang on.
It might be.
Yeah, I think it's a single pass I'm on, actually. 3 awareness,
we were looking at
but a single
where-
passed.
Yeah, where one of the gangsters was.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 aware, 1 pass, no future right now.
Okay. Your dreams are difficult. You get flashes of the street fight, flashes of just the whole last day. The building coming down, people, lots of halflings, and the street fight, and the nightmare that took the form of Sabrina.
Oh yeah, my dreams are real bad. Yeah, I'd forgotten about
Oh
that.
yeah, that was the day.
That was all
Very
one
sad.
day.
Wasn't it?
I mean, it wasn't the
a day,
previous
but
day, but it was
it's-
2
yeah.
days. It was 2 days. It was the day before the day you just had.
It's pretty recent.
Oh, very recent.
And they,
yeah.
But your mind seems to be. It starts to. Well, I wouldn't say work through it. There's a lot to unpack there. But one sense you do strangely, but you do find yourself having it in a weird, scattered, stretched out fashion, an echo of struggling against the fiery form of Sabrina, of seeing that fight happen again and again, almost from different angles, a bit kind of like a replay, I almost want to say. and then there's a version of it where you catch her arm as she's about to bring the whip down, and she kind of turns, she melts into flames, comes back from a different angle, and it's strange. It's like you get a sense almost of how she's flowing, how she's, no, that's not right either, how she's turning. And it's almost as if you can see how the threads, and they are purple threads, for all they flicker with flame, are put together. And it's like a voice says to you that there could be more colours. That you could, it doesn't have to be quite this way. That you can change this. And just for a moment, you realise there is a voice saying this. You are in control, child. It's a voice that's slightly familiar, but...
Is that all Grandmother Fingersnap?
You turn and you see... It's like a little... There's a doorway, one of the ones that was blasted open in the fighting. And just not really in the shot, a silhouette of a hunched old figure.
I'm going to see her, fuck Sabrina.
You tear yourself away from this.
I want to know who it is.
Yeah, in this moment of lucid, semi-lucid dreaming. And you see there's a mirror on a cabinet, like one of those cabinet doors for your wardrobe, where there's just a full-length mirror on the inside. And the way that that it's open, you can't quite see what's on the other side of the mirror. Like, there's a reflection, but it's as if you can see just the rain, and you can hear the crackling of thunder around you, the driving of the storm, but it's both out in the street and in the mirror reflecting it. And you can't see her properly. You can just see the outline of what you recognise as being the silhouette of Grandmother Fingersnip.
What are you doing here?
I never left.
What does that mean?
You bear it now. You go against those whose power it was meant for, and you do not know but a fraction of what it can do.
The eye. Am I going to be a scary rain mirror person when I die? Love to know that. And you don't look like you have anything better to do, no offence.
I am a message.
Okay, what's the message?
An echo. The mirror twists a little, and you see yourself, and behind you in the mirror, carved into the wall, is a date.
What's the date?
7... yeah, I think it would be, wouldn't it? It will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 7, 9, 9, 9, 7. Remember then.
7? That's too many nines, isn't it?
So that is 7, 9. So it's the 7th of Falling Leaves.
Yep.
997.
997.
997.
Why that date? What is that?
Because on that day, I will be expecting a visitor from the future.
How did you send this here?
I sat and waited for someone to remember, and I left a message in case I should not survive to carry it.
What possible message could I want from you?
How
Why should I look?
to use what you carry.
So it does other things than see past and future? Is that what you're saying?
The silhouette nods.
Why would you tell me that? Does it benefit you?
If you have my eye, I am already dead and gone.
Yes, but you're here, and you're asking me to come back and see you. So forgive me for thinking it couldn't benefit you even though you're dead.
My work lives on.
Work?
See me in the past and help me break the chains of destiny.
The dream ends with the
Now
cracking
that
of a
sounds
mirror.
more like us.
You awaken with a cold sweat.
I think Celestia probably wakes up like mild panic attack situation. Okay. Oh, no sleep for me. Right.
Outside, the cries of the gulls herald in the morning.
Coffee. Bread.
You stumble into the galley and, in the fullness of time, are met by the other members of your party.
So
I mean, we're
kind of
sharing
weird.
a room, so
I mean,
That's
yeah.
true. I mean, it's up to
Scamp,
you when you wake up,
Yeah,
actually.
Scamp, whether or not you are awoken by Celestia's sudden start as she wakes up. is
And
up to
under
you.
her breath,
Certainly.
coffee.
I mean, are you top bunk or bottom bunk?
This question
Oh,
again.
that's interesting. I had two thoughts that came one after the other. The first was definitely Scamp is the top bunk, because they'd have wanted it. And the second was that Celestia wouldn't like sleeping with something that close over her, but then also the roof would be anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Oh, they're hammocks, though. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought they were hammocks.
Yeah. I mean, the higher one would be practical for Celestia to climb into with hammocks, but that's why I feel like that's
Yeah,
probably not
it's
what's
probably
happening. What do you think, Bobs?
Oh, no, I'm on top. I've got
Yeah.
the top bunk.
Yeah. You, in which case, yeah, up to you if you're awoken by the creaking.
Also,
of the
if you're on the
hammock
top,
below you.
sometimes Jeffrey just poos off the edge of it, and you know that happens.
Also, frankly, Celestia, if you sat bolt upright, then you're going to wake Scamp up by headbutting them in the bum.
Let's say that happens. Oh, sorry,
Ow!
sorry.
You alright?
Dreams.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
No, I mean like weirder than usual. We should get Corzin.
Oh, no, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also fire, but that was before. We should talk to Corzin before Clara hears anything, actually, and talk about whether we tell her or not, because it's weird.
Right, Olga's dead, right?
Yes,
It's just
yes.
I have
Not
to-
Olga,
okay.
not Olga. Olga related,
Okay.
but not Olga.
Yeah, you said the things that made me do the worries.
Nope,
so-
I'm sorry. I should have put the things that would have been least scary first and helped with
Is
the
there
anxiety
time
things.
for pancakes?
Yes, there's always time for
Okay.
pancakes.
Let's get pancakes and Corzin.
Yes.
You awaken Are you going to grab pancakes and just like go to Corzin's stateroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's time for pancakes.
Okay, Corzin, you're awoken by a knock on the door and the smell of pancakes and this and a particular syrup that they get around here, just extracted from trees.
Why would you do that now? Once
It's very sweet.
Tree sap. What?
Corzin, we got tree cakes.
Corzin. Then.
Tree cakes and ominous dreams.
Molly rolls over and takes some of the duvet.
I'll deal with this. Long John's hat, opens the door. All right. Morning, by the way.
Morning, that's a look.
Long John's hat.
Because of course
Long
the
John's
Long John's
hat,
would have all the
nothing
eyes on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Long Johns have eyes on. That is a thing. That's just your like bare chest.
It's like the most committed branding.
Honestly, it's actually a very strong aesthetic. I'm kind of being sincere. Dreams need a chat.
Oh, right.
Don't mind if Molly's there. Up to you.
I think we'd best let her sleep.
Yeah, that seems fair.
The important thing, if you love a person, let them sleep if they can.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, we find somewhere quiet and I give them a rundown.
I mean,
Pancakes.
I guess probably the best job would be to go back to your cabin at this point, because otherwise it's pretty...
Yeah, that's true.
It's a ship.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of space, so the three of you cram into your cabin.
So yeah, 7th of Falling Leaves, 997. And there might be more things that this does.
Wasn't that about when the Grail went missing?
Was it?
Ooh.
I believe... I want to clarify that you do know this, because you've cooked it before.
We did when
Grail
it
went-
was last scryable.
Yeah, Grail went missing... that I do need the big thing. Oh no! Oh wait, I digitized.
Sorry, Jason.
Oh, it's all right. I actually realised I digitized my timelines. Thanks to Will Danville.
Yay, Will Danville.
Yeah, Will Danville.
Not
We're
sponsored,
not
just
sponsored.
cool.
Let me just check my timeline. Here we go. Okay, so
The timeline isn't close enough for me to read anything, but it's real big.
okay, Grail vanishes during the late 2nd century, so around the 170s. Is what you
Okay, so-
remember.
Oh, so much for okay.
Earlier, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just my thought of like, you've had a look at a bunch of things.
Yeah, no, it makes sense that things would be connected. I mean, they always are, aren't they?
With these things, it certainly seems to be.
I sort of want to look at it immediately.
Yeah, if we're going to do that, though, and I think we should, probably best that we take the opportunity, whatever we find, and assuming it's not something we have to act on immediately, to purge the eye.
Yeah, I hate
You
to
have a
say it,
point.
but yeah.
When did I last do one?
We've got
Well,
a
too
big
long
couple of
ago.
days coming
Okay, I
up,
think
and
I've only done one since we last purged
Okay.
it, though. So we're not doing too badly.
But we got
that
a big
means it won't
battle.
take so long.
We don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, after that, two potentially. That could fuck up everything. We could all die.
You understand my thinking here.
Oh yes, I hate it and I feel sick, but I do.
Well, look, if we do it now, it's done. We've got the rest of the day then to deal with whatever ramifications happen, but it's done.
No, I think
Should
it's-
we maybe purge somewhere that isn't our ship? Because last time, what was it? One time, you put a hole in it.
I did, and we have a battle coming up.
Yeah.
Where else is safe, though?
Well, if we could have a word with Alton, we might be able to get a small room in the Bastion. That's best.
Do I want to put a hole in the bastion?
No.
Well, I'm thinking it's made out of stone. It's not nearly as flammable as this
Oh,
ship.
but-
You do have a point. It's harder
make
to
a
put a
good
hole
point.
in. Also, they might have better prison equipment.
Yes,
I mean, if
I
you're
do still
worried,
have
they might
the-
even have a cell that you could be on the other side of a barred door.
I don't want to do that.
Like, I mean, bars, so you can still talk to the person, but it'd be harder for them to get to you.
I can't remember. Have you ever tried discharging the eye in a sanctumed location?
No.
I think we have.
I don't believe you have. No.
I think we haven't on purpose, actually.
Just
When they say celestial light bulbs, this. Hang on, that's a sanctum. What will that do?
yeah, unless you want to commandeer the sending room.
Well, it might just not work.
Could we do it in the sending room?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure we could. We just have to make sure that
No one's coming
one
in.
of us was, yeah, and one of us presumably was able to take in any messages that arrive during that time.
That's going to be really weird if any of them come during. Anyway,
Also hilarious. I'm
really
totally here for
funny.
basically taking a call while you're whoever. What if it comes to you?
Well, you know,
That's so weird.
vital information could come in any time.
Yeah, but
we
to
can't-
someone from the past.
What if it
What
does
if it
come
went-
into me?
How,
What if
how
it,
does it work?
what if information gets missed?
No,
The-
but how does it work? Like, is there a designated person? Do you put a hat on? Is there a sending hat?
I hope there's a sending hat.
Roll an Arcana check to see if you picked this up from Wisdom.
Yes.
Redirect sort
new
of thing. How the
dice,
fuck
I
do
want
those
to-
work? My sendings have never been technical enough to
Where's my
understand them.
goblin?
That's cocked.
I have goblin dice I want to roll. There they are. Oh, it's not terrible. That is
7. I'm not sure.
18.
As far as you know, from Wisdom's hurried explanation of how of how it works, there is a way to, like, if you have the right equipment, to ensure that it goes to like a designated person. I think they need to be, as far as you know, they need to be marked or have something. Otherwise, it will just go straight into the first person it finds in the room. Because the redirect, or the main effect of the redirect, is to if a sending tries to get to someone in a sanctum that's laced with a redirect, it will just shunt it to sending room. And it's just, if there's not someone marked specifically to take all of them, it's just first available mind.
Right.
I've had a thought and I kind of hate it because the man doesn't need more to deal with, but most of these sendings will be intended for Alton, yeah?
Yeah.
We can trust Alton. We could just ask him to sit in so no information gets missed.
Well, I mean,
true,
yeah.
He'd be really freaked out. It'd be a weird morning, but it would
We've
mean
done
that
worse.
it would mean that he's not losing information we need for the war.
Yeah.
Siege.
That's
War.
true.
Siege. What's the
I
right
suppose
word
we'll-
here?
I don't know.
Well, the
The
siege
kerfuffle.
immediately, the war more long term.
The
Yeah.
kerfuffle. The long-term kerfuffle.
I'm sure that's what they'll call it in the history book, Scamp.
Scandal.
Oh, a scandal.
The great
I like
big
that.
Sunder kerfuffle.
Perfect.
Still, we're going to have to take him into our confidence with this, and I don't see why that should be a
I
problem.
mean, he already knows it's,
just-
a thing, doesn't he? We've told him
Yeah.
before. He's aware,
Yeah.
he's just not seen it.
Alright, that being the case, I think, yeah, it's our best bet.
God, poor Alton. We owe him a drink.
We
Already.
owe him.
We
We,
owe
should
him a-
get him like a fruit basket.
We owe him a fucking vineyard at this point.
What we owe him is a ship. I'm
Yeah, we
honest.
do. Well, we've nearly got enough for one, haven't we?
Yeah,
One being
easily.
made.
Yes.
Well, you can
Oh.
have that one.
We should maybe send to Benny about that.
Yeah, we'll double do that.
Also, just out of character clarification, have we actually selected a commanding officer for the Witch's Tit yet?
No, you really should do that before like the
Really
following
want to do that.
day.
We're the
We
worst.
really need to do that.
Yeah.
One thing at a time, though.
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
let's finish the pancakes and head over there.
Pancakes.
So you okay? You're gonna head over to there. One moment, I'm just not enough fucking memory. Sorry, there is some in. I'm trying to open up a thing so that I can, if I need to do something, it's not giving too much. There we go. Okay, so you finish off, scarf your pancakes, head over to the battery. Alton, actually, you were able to find very easily. He's at his office, and as you knock and open the door, he looks up. Oh, fantastic! You're early.
What?
Just get. Right, must have forgotten it. We've got a briefing in about 40 minutes.
Oh God, we need you immediately then.
Sorry.
Don't know how else to put that.
Right.
How many minutes are we going to need to do this in?
20.
It's 10 minutes for each of the things.
10 minutes
and
per
you need
end.
10 minutes. Yeah, and you need to look at the past to get that first. So, like 30 minutes.
Right, okay. And you need me for this.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
So
also
that
need
you
your sending room clear.
Yeah, it's so that you don't miss out on any information that comes in the meantime. We need a secure location.
Quickly explain this. And he sort of, you see him pinch the bridge of his nose. Okay, right.
It will stop me becoming other people during the fight.
Oh, that's great. One moment. Chelsea, send a message. I'm going to be there on time, but I'm not going to be available for the next 35 minutes, okay? Right.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Right, come on. Let's
You
get
were
let's
the
get
best
this over
option
with.
we could think of so that you wouldn't miss important sendings, but we also wouldn't blow a hole in the boat, potentially.
Oh, that's fine. Just up there, a hole in my fort. I'm sure this is going to be
Your
This is a
fort's
lot
made of
less
stone.
flammable.
You head over to the sitting room very quickly.
Oh, we're going to need some prison stuff.
Okay, you get the
Don't worry,
manacles.
Got that.
Right.
Corzin has a set of manacles that he purchased specifically for this.
Okay, forget the manacles. They got their own. Right, Sorry, I'm going to have to clear out. Yeah, I'll tell you if you can come back in if we need to send any messages specifically. It's actually they don't really have any mages, but there are a bunch of clerics from St. Purity and St. Furies who are doing sending mage duty if they need to send anything.
I'm sorry this sounds so terrifying, but please don't listen at the door. Because I don't want you to find out things that could get you killed by someone.
The Purity clerics kind of look a little offended at the idea that they would listen at the door. The St. Fury
That's not a threat, it's just scary.
the clerics of St. Fury kind of shrug as if, yeah, okay, fair enough. Alton ushers them out, grabs a pencil and a pen and paper, and goes, right, okay, you just get started. I'm going to get some work done and make some notes if anything comes through, right?
Thank you, sorry.
Okay.
It's going to be weird.
This is a lot before second breakfast, I understand, but yeah, we needed to do this now.
Okay, so what do you want to do first? After manacling.
I mean, I think we might as well look first and then purge.
Yeah.
What do other people think,
Yeah,
like, purge
I think
first?
I
that's
mean,
the
yeah, 'cause
the
otherwise
sensible way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it's like back and forth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, manacles, my favourite.
Okay.
Give me a warning when you're picking it up. It feels terrible.
All right. Here we go. Gently does it.
Now, okay, show me. Oh, Mother Finger Snap. On the 7th of Falling Leaves in the year 997.
Okay. The eye is spun, you focus, and after about 10 minutes from everyone else, you fall into it. And you find yourself plunging down into the dark before a bubble comes up to you, and you step into the room of what feels like the room of some sort of castle, like a tower of some description. You can't really see too clearly what's outside. The drapes are drawn, but standing in front of a full-length mirror with an elaborate frame is a hunched, older-looking, in fact, just elderly and huge-looking woman. Her features are deep violet, gnarled and twisted. And she looks at the mirror, and you realise, through the mirror, she's looking at you. And you see yourself reflected within it.
Can you see me?
That I can. And hear you as well.
How the fuck is this working?
To begin with, greetings. I am called Old Mother Fingersnap.
Yes, I'm aware.
And whom do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
I gave you my name in another reality, I suppose. Fuck it. Celestia Stardust. Nice to meet you.
And
I'd
from
shake, but we're
what
talking through a mirror.
century do you come?
I think I'll leave that.
Well, if you are here, then I am gone, and the echo I left has reached you.
You were in the Dreamfold.
If you carry it, then perhaps it found you in a dream when you were close to the edge.
Yep.
I placed up an imprint within my eye.
Ah.
It has little power except to guide.
Guide where?
Guide whom? If you allow it, it will teach you, train you to use the eye as its intended bearers do.
What was it supposed to do?
To guide the world on the path of destiny.
That sounds sort of terrible. That's just a weird reflex I have at this point. But whose idea of what destiny is does this follow? The Kraken's?
You have a part of it.
So the intended bearers, they were to guide the world to what the Kraken willed would be destiny. Explain to me why I'd want that. I'm very curious.
I assume that you do not.
Do you?
If I did, I would not need to hide from them. The eye can shield you from their sight, but while you hold it, you are so vulnerable to them.
The echoes from the past and future, or other people?
The other bearers of the storm.
And who are they?
They are known to me, some, but this is the worst.
She gestures, and you see the image in the magic mirror change. Again, pour driving rain, the sound of thunder, and stood on a ship of silvery wood, you see the bright red hair of the elven deep caller.
I know her. Well, not personally, but...
And she may well know you
Oh yeah, I think so.
if you have come too close.
To the Kraken?
To its heart,
Yeah.
its will.
I swapped for a week, does that count?
Yes, you have found a power by having it turned upon you.
What?
The power, should you find a use for it, to place your essence, your will, you might call it your soul, within another.
On purpose?
If you so will it.
So the time that I swapped for a week, that... we sort of knew the other end of that was on purpose. But I could potentially do it to her. Could you do it on a specific day?
Yes, against those who are skilled in the use of the eye. They may wield it as a shield. It is that you should learn, or you are weak to this again if you come too close to her gaze. And yet, you might be able against another such wielder to turn it. Not for long against the eldest, but you could buy yourself minutes, even a second, when the time is right.
That could be enough. What would it do to me? Come on, there's always a payoff.
Oh, yes. If you could send your reflection to another, knowing it could die, would you?
I don't know. What happens to theirs? Their soul? Does it go into me, or does it go somewhere else?
It is pushed into the sea.
Ah, like I was.
She always swims there, in everything, all at once.
Are you suggesting that this is a sort of terrifying metaphorical sea that is all around us and the Kraken is always in it?
Broadly speaking.
That's the worst. Oh.
I have been generous with my information, but I do not have the time in these 10 minutes to teach and train you.
So how do we do that? What happens?
If you accept it, I can teach you to access the echo that I have placed within the eye.
What does that give you? Do you come back to life? Do you have influence?
Nothing short of true divinity can restore a hag that is killed. Our souls are not so easy to snatch back from the edge.
So if somebody who was a hag or like a hag died, they'd be very hard to bring back, is what you're saying.
When you die, you pass somewhere. There is a line.
An edge.
And if one knows how, one may reach to that edge and snatch you back before you pass beyond. But we are creatures of this world, and this world alone.
You don't go to the edge.
For us, there is life eternal, and death from which there cannot be return.
Well, that's comforting in one way and horrifying in another. So thank you.
Such is the trade.
Yeah. So you can't come back. So what do you get out of it? Why? Why would you be interested in teaching me? I'm just some weirdo you've seen in a vision a couple of times, maybe.
Would you like to know a secret?
Always.
I have never seen you in the future.
That would make sense.
Ooh.
The
You what?
future
Ever?
changes. It wriggles and twists, always to destruction. But it changes.
And you're looking at a version that I'm not in.
I was when this time and this place was real. And I must act as if it is. But experience tells me that I am the echo, and you must be real.
You're right.
Just be warned that when our roles are reversed, you may not think the same.
I know. No one ever does.
You do not know how many times she has interrogated you now that she knows you exist.
Yeah. Yeah, how much information does she have? Is there a way to know that?
There's a pause and a nod.
How?
It is a skill you can learn.
How long will that take?
These things can take days or weeks or months to learn fully. I was not lying when I said I do not have the time here to
What
teach.
if I don't have the time? I don't have a lot of time.
Then listen to my echo. Heed well, and she will try to find the fastest ways. I had to figure it out the hard way. You will have a mentor, but I do not offer this for free.
Yeah, of course. What's the price tag?
End destiny.
What does that mean? Narrow it down.
The future shifts, it wriggles, it turns, and always they try to find the path, the perfect path where everyone lives.
Yes?
And they have never found it. Hope can be a cruel prison, especially if you believe yourself all-seeing.
She turns, and you can see there's an hourglass set up next to her, which is about 3 minutes left.
It will take much of the remaining time for me to teach you how to unlock the echo.
Okay. There's no purple hag magic happening, is there?
Not that you can see. She seems only to be able to rely on your word. And indeed, she does say,
Then give me your word.
Will it just be my word? I know how words work with you. You're dead. But is that enough? I'm bound to someone who's dead. One of yours, actually.
Oh?
Olga.
I don't know the name yet. After this time.
Wow, that's weird.
Just your word. I am just a memory.
Then you have my word.
She conjures in the air, just turns her hands, and you see like a little ring on her finger flash, releasing some stored magic. And you can see that previously invisible in one hand flashes into existence the same eye you carry on a little golden chain.
Hold it like so.
Mm-hmm.
Allow.
She stretches out a hand towards you.
I stretch out mine.
She doesn't move to like tip it into your hand.
Oh, I
gestures.
put
You
mine
place it
above
onto
then.
it, and it's strange. You like your hand passes through hers, but you can feel the eye.
This is strange.
Indeed. It is here. It will always be here until it is no more. Now, feel within it the current, the rushing, the passing of tides, ebbing and flowing like the blood within your vessels. It is a familiar tide, is it not?
Yeah, I think I can always feel it. Somewhere in the background.
Now, place one hand to your neck and feel your own pulse. Feel where the rhythm matches. Feel where it does not.
Mm-hmm.
And place one hand to the mirror where the storm rages.
Do you say?
You feel a rhythm there as well, a rushing of the tide back and forth. And as you hold your hand to your neck, one hand to your neck, one hand to the mirror, you realize those two rhythms together make up the pulse that you're feeling from the eye. Almost, though, as you realize.
You have noticed the discrepancy, though.
Yes.
One more beat hidden within.
Is that from you?
That is me. That is, well, the one at the top is me.
Mm-hmm.
I advise you not to dig deeper than that surface echo.
What do you mean?
In time, you could learn to store an echo of yourself in this, as did those who owned this before me.
They're all in here.
Those who desired to leave an imprint of themselves for those who survived them.
Well, that's mortifying, honestly.
We were not the first to learn this trick. Now, focus on that third beat.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it and push with the same sense that you do when you use the spirit that runs and is woven through you.
I do.
There's just a moment, and you feel something resist and then give, and you see another finger snap in the mirror.
Right.
The second finger snap gives a slow clap.
Oh, really?
For my first lesson, as you pushed, pull.
Okay.
You do so, and you see the image of finger snap in the mirror dissipate and seems to pull back, and you realise you can feel that pulse again more strongly.
Right.
As you can see the last grains of the hourglass running down.
Our time is at an end.
I can ask the echo questions?
You have time for 3 questions.
From you?
Well, sorry, I actually missaid that.
From you? I asked from her or from the echo when I get out?
Oh, can I ask you questions?
Yeah.
What you asked? Sorry.
The echo, I left that echo only with information as to how to use the eye.
Mm-hmm.
If you have questions for me, ask quickly.
What does ending destiny actually mean? You were very flowery before.
It means
Destroy all the eyes, stop trying, what does it mean?
end prophecy.
Destroy the eyes. Will that fix it? Does that stop the world ending?
As the grains are running out.
It's a very good start.
How do you kill the Kraken? Just in case you have any idea.
I don't know. But I know that once there were 3.
Now there are 2.
The bubble pops. You feel yourself rush back to the surface.
Oh, that was extremely disturbing, gang.
How good. That's our specialty.
Yeah.
You alright?
You know, I'm not sure this is one we should put Alton through. So I might explain that properly when we're completely done.
Okay.
Alright.
Just feels like a bit much, really. No, there's stuff I can do maybe later today. But yeah, I just think it's maybe a bit much for somebody who isn't the 3 of us. Sorry, no offence. I'm sure you could handle it, but I think you have quite enough to handle.
Can you see him kind of look up from writing something down? Yeah. He's clearly transcribing something that only he can hear.
Oh fuck! No, we have message tones. I'm going to do it through that. Tell them everything through the message tones. Yeah. I give you a rundown in our brains. Yeah. Yeah. So carrying around potentially loads of echoes of scary people.
I immediately want to look and see who they are, and it's such a bad idea.
Me too.
If the awful hag tells you it's dangerous, probably worth listening. But I really want to poke that sleeping dragon.
I want to poke it so badly, but mostly what I quite like is that potentially I could swap with this scary Reaver woman at the right moment.
Yes, that's useful to know. And if it's at the right moment...
It's horrifically risky, but you're supposed to lose your head in that fight. So,
rather
risk is relative.
Well, anything we can do to keep it firmly attached to my neck, I'm in favour of.
Oh yeah, here for that.
Yeah, me too. So, scary Kraken's eye training from a hag. Also, Scamp, it's really hard for hags to come back, she told me.
Oh, no Olga.
I thought you'd want to know. Apparently,
I really do.
They don't go to the edge like we do because they're supposedly of this world completely to such a point where it's really hard for them to die, but when they do, they're kind of fucked.
Okay. Well, that sounds really good.
Yeah, I know you have funny dreams and worry and stuff, so
Yeah, oh yeah.
felt like a good thing to pass on.
Oh.
Honestly, I think the only reason I don't really have Olga dreams is because I'm too busy dreaming about fire, so like, fair play, you know?
And I also have the worry that, okay, if hags can't come back, who else can't come back? What about Clara? What about...
I'm
Tell Clara this.
immediately horrified about Clara.
I mean, maybe do tell Clara, because...
I think if it concerns Clara being careful, then maybe we should tell Clara, because I'm not being funny. You two treat death a bit differently now that you know that I can bring you back, right? Just a little bit.
I mean, I've always had a bit of a...
It's never a guarantee.
Thing anyway.
I know it's never a guarantee, but didn't you start thinking about it a little bit differently when you knew somebody could bring you back who was close to you?
I've brought back a lot of people who were going to die otherwise.
And to
But
be honest,
I see your point.
there's a bit of me that still thinks it wouldn't work on me. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that there's no guarantee it'll work, so it'd be a waste of your time. So
There
Well,
is no reason
fuck
to
off.
test that. And don't you dare think that we wouldn't try.
I know, but I think you'd be wasting your Phoenix down.
Just stop fucking talking.
I know.
We don't know that. You don't know that. We can't know that.
Hey, I'm 1/7 a god, so you know.
Yeah, I really need you to not talk so casually about me not being able to bring you back, because it's...
Hey, no, I'm not planning on going. You won't need to, because I'm not going. Okay?
Right.
Scamp, in a voice that, although he generally is trying to make himself a bit more audible, this time only you can hear, Friend says, I honestly have no idea. Try not to die.
Okay, I will.
But yeah, I actually disagree, Corzin. I think we have to tell Clara. At least that bit. It's her mortality, like, she needs to know.
Yeah.
Because it might be that it doesn't apply to her and she's not enough hag, but it might be that she's exactly the right amount of hag.
Also, it'll stop some of the nightmares, or at least help them.
Yes. She'll know Olga isn't coming back.
Yeah.
Well, that's worth it, I suppose, but it's just...
You can't keep something like that from her.
No, and I know she's the same age as your son, but
But she ain't.
some children don't.
This is a lot to lay on a person, is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, we're not doing it lightly. It's just that, it's important. It's important she knows.
Frankly, this is hers and not ours. It's at that point. It's about whether she can be brought back from the dead or not. It affects what risks she'll take forever. You know?
Yeah.
When it's safety and autonomy, it's not ours, it's hers.
Do you think if you used it 7 times on me, I'd be a full god? Because I think that might be worth trying.
Time's ticking. A little voice in my head has just informed me. So, we should do the other two. I'm excited. Who's excited?
Oh, I can't wait to meet
Fucking
all
buzzing.
of them.
Alright, let's get this over with then.
Let's see. Let's bind your hands. Let's stop
I
you.
don't feel like I've left that. I think we've just had this chat.
Yeah, but like, how much risk do we want to take? Is the information worth it, or do we just full on gag you at this point?
The information could be worth it.
Yes.
We don't know that it's not, so we have to assume it is. What if it saves Corzin's life in a few days?
What if you blow up the room?
Then I trust
We've
you
taken
to
every
deal with
precaution
it.
we can reasonably take.
Okay.
Also, I'll blow up
okay.
the room whether you gag me or not, if I'm that kind of person.
A lot of
Yes.
my spells just need me to speak. Just saying.
I'm terrified of not knowing things.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's tie your hands as, like, full of, like, mittens.
Oh yeah, like make it difficult.
Okay, so precautions.
We should get some special mittens.
You are manacled up and your hands are bound up like mittens. With rope as well.
My fingers are warm.
Well, good. Cozy, be nice.
Sweaty hands. Ugh.
Oh.
Okay, roll a d6, please, as they raise the eye and the little...
Oh, no.
The colour wheel dice. 4.
4! Ooh, interesting.
Is he
Okay.
doing a face? I can hear a face.
He's like not making eye contact with me right now, so I'm not sure to be honest.
Okay. As you look at it, you feel yourself suddenly fall forwards into the past. And with a splashing, you find yourself sat. Okay, you find yourself halfway through running through open field. Before you kind of like your body arrests itself at the confusion. You
I look down at my hands and body and try and figure out who I am.
okay? So for this, one moment, I realise there's a critical bit of information I need to just grab up.
Well, Danville, the anvil that's worlds.
Okay, so
That wasn't a
you
sentence.
have bright scarlet skin.
Ooh.
You catch a glimpse of long red gold hair cascading down. Not really cascading down your shoulders. It's tied back in a tail. But you see the tail pop forwards, and you are able to catch a glimpse of, and you'll be able to see your clothing. You are in a bright yellow kind of dress, cut through with repeating black patterning around the hems. You are wearing slightly baggy leggings underneath it, tucked into boots, and you see an absolutely adorable a teen child, probably you want to say like 3 or 4, with blue skin, blue feather hair with yellow flecks at the end, and wide golden eyes. And she's in like a version of what you're wearing, but it's in blue with repeating black patterns, and she's got like a puffy jacket type equivalent on. And
Like one of those child is much smaller than jacket is situations.
yeah.
Excellent.
And you can see that you were in the process of like chasing after her. You realise from your own body you feel like young, like teens, early teens young. It's kind of how it feels. And you feel like you're in the process of chasing her because she continues doing her giggling child waddle.
Well, apparently I'm
Onwards
going to
fast.
get you, so you better run.
She laughs and carries running.
I do that like running slower than you can actually run because you're chasing a child.
Yeah, and it
thing.
feels like this is what you were doing before.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not out of breath, am I?
You can see that you are on, not far off the edge of a settlement, actually. So let me just see. From what you can see in the distance, well, you can definitely see farmlands around, although a lot of the land is actually grazing land rather than strict farmland. You do see the little clumps, like planted rows here in places, of the clumps of squash, beans, and corn that you're used to seeing Sheen plant, but it's a little bit less intensive than you've seen the Panuki do. There seems to be... This doesn't have the same sort of elaborate drainage ditches and irrigation channels feeling that you got when you visited Inyan. Instead, the feeling of the town that you can see is almost very transient. Towards the center, you can see that there are solid structures, much more of timber baked clay, dyed kind of like coloured red in the walls, with actually very bright, with again those swirling brightly coloured patterns towards the centre. And there are maybe about 20 of these permanent kind of looking structures clustered around almost something that reminds you a little bit of the windmills you saw when you went around Seoul, but not quite the same. The intent doesn't really seem to be to catch the wind and do work, but rather there is a solid kind of baked clay base with tall wooden structure, almost like a watchtower over it. But wooden slats have been painted in bright colours as well, and hanging from poles are streamers in multiple colours that just blow and catch in the wind. An aesthetic which is repeated in the camp, the much larger camp of temporary structures that surrounds it. As you can see, buildings that are kind of... You've never really seen like a yurt or a gur before as Celestia, but if you had, they would look not dissimilar. Temporary camp structures of hide and canvas built on wood. But like when I say that, you kind of imagine like camping tents in a field. These, and some of them are, particularly the poorer ones around the outside. But for the most part, these are, when you go to like a wedding and you get the elaborate marquees?
Yeah.
Think that's, but scaled up a bit. The hide tents are very bit, like some of the most elaborate ones have similar sort of brightly coloured swirling patterns. Even the simpler ones have, again, usually like a single bright colour, at least in a band along it, and repeating black patterns, with again a tendency towards curlicues and swirls, and everyone has at least one brightly coloured streamer on it. There is a wind that picks up, and the whole and it's as if the upper parts of this tent city are alive. The tents definitely seem to be clustered in like clear camps, but there is also clearly organisation. There are well-trodden paths in between the places where camps can be laid out. The centre even has more permanent sort of road built around it. But again, the feeling is that it's almost as if people have declared, here is a city, you and your clan may come and go as you wish.
Oh. That's super cool.
And you can see that each clan, there's some kind of permanent planted agriculture, but there are herds of horses, of buffalo, of goats, and so on, grazing on the long grass, and like being carefully tended by brightly coloured achievement all around. You do notice, though, there is an anomaly. Not a complete anomaly, because even in the centre, as you peer in, you can see there are occasional humans and orcs there, mostly leading... There's one particular group that you see is haggling in a brightly coloured bazaar over what appear to be just like a wagon full of pots and pans and various utensils, while the Achene on the opposite side is pointing to like various richly dyed looking fabrics. And You don't know if this is going to... This is one of those hard bargains that is either going to result in a fist fight or everyone getting drunk at the end of the day.
You genuinely are not
Really
sure
could
which,
go either
yeah.
way. So they're very much in a minority, but you do see the occasional human and orc. But much more standing out are the group of humans and orcs, mostly orcs, dismounting from a small kind of column of horses, probably about 30 of them in total. Most of whom are wearing red coats. If actually all of whom are wearing red coats, and you can see led by a human woman at the. By a human woman with blonde hair at the front. She looks probably kind of Jovian in heritage. They have. You can see that they do have muskets, but they're like holstered. You can see that they're they're on their backs. They're not drawn or anything. And you notice around that big kind of central building, there is a small gathering of Achene who seem to be expecting them, including someone you recognise. Most of the people involved in the picture, especially the person at the front, who is a blue-skinned Achene, like in a kind of more, almost like a version, not dissimilar to the kind of long sleeveless coat that you've seen, say, the Calcinea, Odinone's uncle, wear. But this one made of dyed hide and leather rather than cloth. You do actually see Calcinea.
Oh.
He looks about 20 years younger. Thereabouts. Like, definitely a good couple of decades younger. He's there. He's not alone, though. You also see next to him, holding a little kind of like even younger than the child you've been chasing, like maybe like 1.5-year-old little swaddled baby infant, is another Achene. Unlike Calcinea's kind of ochre skin and reddish hair, she's got a similar sort of like white, like dead white skin, dead white feathers appearance to Odinone.
Babby Odinone. Babby.
The babby, I will note, does not as far appear to be Odinone, but rather has the ochre coloured skin that
Not
Calcinea. But definitely Babby Odinone's uncle. Odinone's uncle's Babby. So like Babby Odinone cousin.
Babbies. Speaking of babbies, I have probably scooped mine up by now, I imagine.
Oh yeah, you scoop her up, and she giggles.
Got you.
Yay! And it's in that sort of I think we've previously established you don't automatically get translations.
No, I don't.
So she goes, Nida.
Ah, balls. This is going to be fun, isn't it?
Baka? Ella. She snuggles up to you. You see the kind of little delegation of redcoats moving into the central building. It's probably not that far away. What do you do?
Deposit the child somewhere and go and have a look.
Kind of try and put her down, but the little girl follows after you.
Oh, fine. I'll stick her on my shoulders.
You see her singing, like, you pick her up and she kind of bops side to side and sings what might actually be a nonsense song in Achene, or it might just be like it's a more sensical song. It has that nursery rhyme sort of rhythm to it, so you're not sure it would make sense even if you could understand.
That's
she'll
sort of
say.
that singing that kids do where you're like, is that a real song or are you just making sounds because it's fun? Yeah. I just pop her on my shoulders and bob with her.
You head up. You kind of get out, sneak up into the street nearby, and the doors are kind of open. Clearly the town here has a bit of a has a fairly straightforward approach to this sort of matter being public, and they don't necessarily care too much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Actually, there are a couple of guards wielding the distinctive glaive-like weapons that the Achene have, but you just get close enough, and child hearing's pretty damn good. You're able to catch peeks of what's going on through. It's not so much a door as a bunch of flaps of coloured leather serving as a curtain. It's like a beaded curtain, but less annoying. And it does blow a bit in the wind. So you catch glimpses here and there of people stood around a wide, colourful table of, again, that distinctive sort of Achene-shaped wood. And you catch snatches of the discussion. The woman at the head of the delegation is, now I understand that there's been certain tensions, and I want you to know, Sky Shepherd, that we are absolutely here to set the minds of the Yarchi to rest. The figure at the head of this whole affair, with the bright-coloured, with the sort of blue skin and actually quite big kind of hair. He's just one of those people, well, feathers, but he's just one of those people who's the feather equivalent of when you get someone whose hair just puffs up and out, and they get this. It's imagine the Achene equivalent of Doc Brown hair.
Brilliant.
And a couple of feathers have gone a little bit white in places. You actually guess probably more from age because they go to black at the ends rather than just it being his coloration. This thing I'm just going to check. Okay, yes, we are in this place, so we're going for this. I appreciate that, Colonel Riverfoot. However, we are concerned about the encroachment of Tharms on the areas around Aptak. We believe that the number of settlements is in violation of the treaty, as previously discussed. Well, I can see how that might be a concern to you, but I am assured, and I wish to assure you, that our expansion is entirely within the limits of the treaty as discussed. You hear a cough, and you recognize Odonone's uncle, Calcinea, speaking. If I may, of course, Calcinea, forgive any intrusion. I do not believe you have met. Well, indeed, I have not. Colonel Sally Riverfoot, absolute pleasure to meet you. What was it again? Calcinea. Actually, he's not as old yet, so it would be Calcinea. I am here visiting with my family, and was invited by the Sky Shepherd of the Odasanero clan. Well, it's a jolly pleasure to meet you. And what was it you wanted to bring up? I have studied the treaties in question, and it is very clear you should not be passing beyond the River App. However, we have detected very clearly an increasing number of your farms and plantations being established on the northern banks.
Well, I'm curious what exactly you want us to do about that. We gonna evict these farm folks out of their farms?
That is quite the problem that we have been dealing with. I am afraid that there has already been bloodshed, as a number of these farmers have sought to deny us access to our grazing lands.
It seems we are at something of an impasse then. After all, it is something of a destiny for all peoples to seek to do the best for their own. And inevitably these things must come to a head. We of the Yorchi are a peaceful people. We do not desire for there to be conflict. We will fight back if provoked, but do not take that as a provocation. It is simply that we wish you to adhere to the terms that have been laid out. Well, that's mighty civil of you. Mighty civil of you. Tell me, do you play chess at all? I have heard of it, but I am not a player. Calcinea says, I have played it myself. Why is this relevant? Well, you see, smart chess player knows that you always got to be thinking several moves ahead. And they always know that sooner or later, no matter how much you feign and dance around, it's going to come to a conflict. And it's just a question of who managed to get their pieces in place. What are you talking about? See, we have another saying where I come from. I think it originated in Haldanis at first, but we've taken it on our own. Do you know what they say the first rule of warfare is? You hear a clicking sound. No, I am not familiar with that. The first rule of warfare is deception. And you hear the crack of a pistol. And from all around the city, you hear the sounds of gunfire. You turn, you see lines and lines of redcoats standing up out of hiding places, surrounding the tent city. And all of this is overtaken, though, as the girl in your arms reaches out in the direction of the Sky Shepherd, who you see falling, and calls out, "Pata!"
I take her away and try and hide with her.
You run.
Try and find a hiding place.
City,
That's the immediate impulse.
You run, and you run hard and fast.
Try and bury her face in my shoulder a bit so she doesn't see too much.
Screams come, fire. There is the flash of fire and smoke all around you. As suddenly the entire city erupts into chaos and violence. As the war breaks into, as less of a war and more of a slaughter comes into being, there's a moment where you see one of the redcoats comes out of just almost the alleyways created by the hide, by the hide, just the hide tents, and surprises you. In a moment that feels true to the past, you see him panic at seeing someone to the side of him and slash to the side with his musket. You feel the blade cut through your cheek, the tip of it just missing your eye before coming up to to your brow in something in a cut deep enough that you know it will leave a scar. And the little girl screams at you, "Eleonata!" And about that moment, the vision passes into the next one. But as to the fallout from that, we're going to need to wait until after these, no doubt important messages.
Oh yay, oh yay! It is the 21st of falling leaves in the year of the Regent 1798, and the news is as follows. Last night saw an end to a long-standing gang war, allowing citizens of New Aldmark to once again like, rate, share, and subscribe to Flintlocks and Fireballs. The city of New Aldmark would like to deny any allegations that this was a sponsored endorsement.
And welcome back. You hold the ring and the eye up to Celestia's features. Celestia suddenly gets blinks once and then starts looking around in a panic. Not initially in a panic, just with a bit of confusion, then swiftly growing into panic, especially when she realizes that she is, she's got her hands manacled behind her and the fingers bound, tied to a chair. At which point her first reaction is, "Ah!" She just starts screaming.
It's okay. Everything's fine.
There is immediately the door to this listening room, to the sending room, cracks, opens, and about 6 guards rush in, and Alton looks up and goes, No, it's fine. That's the wrong voice. No, it's fine. We're expecting this. Just, it's all right. Back out you go. If you hear me cry out for you, come back in. The
Probably sensible.
Militiamen sort of like
Unless,
look at this.
the next one is Alton, in which case that's going to get really complicated.
Right, out you go. They look very confused at the just screaming Celestia, and then
That's
awkwardly close the door. Skinando!
Corzin, I might
Yeah?
have forgotten to cast the language thing again.
Oh, blast.
Yeah,
Great.
look
All
around
to
in a
be
panic.
fair, that
I know Sadira!
help
I know
them
Sadira!
understand me. Yeah,
I know!
it's okay. Oh,
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, we can only do this with tone. There's no language
Is
in common.
persuasion a skill? I've forgotten in my systems apparently. I think it's diplomacy. Oh fuck! I can't remember.
Persuasion.
It's persuasion.
I think it's persuasion.
God,
Yeah.
I suddenly split between different.
Diplomacy's 4th edition, I think.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
third.
it's persuasion.
It's persuasion.
I rolled a 22.
16 years of flipping DMing experience. Gosh, it's probably closer to like 20 at this point. Anyway.
Well, editions get muddy.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
worry.
20.
It's okay. Look, there's a monkey. Look at the nice monkey.
We're not gonna hurt you.
Is that a chin?
I think so.
Did we pick up any a chin? Or are we the worst?
Poor. I guess you spent like a week there, so if the pair of you want to roll intelligence checks to find out if you picked up any phrases or anything from that time you spent with Odinone, go ahead.
Yeah, but best
Yeah.
hope we've got, really. So,
Ooh.
intelligence.
For me, that's decent. Intelligence is 17.
11.
Okay. Corzin, honestly, you've been busy working your way through the gigantic
Yeah.
language and pronunciation guide that Philippe gave you. So this is all a bit going over your head. You kind of...
Like a lot of things.
Scamp, you kind of wince and put together a bit of the gambling. And in that sort of like vague pigeon way, you kind of try and mix her body language is very constricted by virtue of being stuck in a in a chair and tied up, but she's rattling off a lot very quickly in a tune. She seems to be worried about you would guess her situation, the being tied up. You don't think she's registered the different body yet. And she seems to be worried about someone called Anu or Anu Sadira.
Can I just say hello?
You know how to say. I'm going to say without 17. You can say like you've got more of a gist of like certain words popping out than a really solid understanding. You can just about manage hello, goodbye. Well, it's the equivalent of please, but it's not really the word please. Like that's just a very Jovan thing. Please in Indocene is more like crying out, "Please don't kill me," than just please can you pass the salt. But you know the equivalent of that. Oh, and you know how to say 2 goat's milks, please.
Hello.
I do.
Hello.
She moves her shoulder as if she wants to raise her hand, but Mota ne tomma meta.
Oh no.
Meta.
Hello.
Atua. Be no patana anu.
Do I know sorry? I've already forgotten the words you said.
So I'm gonna say you know kind of please and thank you, hello and goodbye. Sorry hasn't really come up.
Oh no.
I'm just going to smile and say hello again, but the kind of smile that doesn't show my teeth.
She kind of continues in this vein for a few minutes, then seems to notice like the fact that she's not in her own body, freaks out again.
Oh no. I'm gonna start casting screaming. Comprehend languages. This is a disaster.
Yeah, you just start this for the next time. Unless you want to try anything else, or try and get any other information out of her. She continues in a cycle of panicking, having no idea what's going on, calling out for someone called Anu, and this until the 10 minutes elapses.
I'm gonna do my best in the full knowledge that they cannot understand anything I'm saying, but I'm just gonna keep saying, it's alright, we're not gonna hurt you, just keeping the tone very calming, neutral. It's literally the best that Corzin can do at the moment.
Okay, roll an insight check.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. That's an 8.
Yeah, she's just freaked out by this whole situation.
Understandable.
Okay. You do your best to try and keep her calm, but the situation, the fact that neither of you speak the language in enough detail, she pretty much continues to just have a bit of a panic attack about the whole situation, and then 10 minutes elapses. Can I ask you to roll a d6, please?
Well, at least she's going back somewhere nice. we hope. Nice and calm with us, no even in danger, and everything's
4?
a bit better than this.
I'm going to need to re-roll a
Reroll,
4, don't I?
please. Yeah.
I'm going to use a different d6. That one only wants to do 4s. 5.
Ooh, 5. Okay.
Is he doing a face? Is a fight a good one?
Okay, this is going to be an interesting one.
He's thinking. He's doing deep thinking.
Oh no.
As you feel the slash of the blade across your face from the red coat, there is a blare of intense pain, and then the rushing of waves, and you hear the roaring of the sea as the waves engulf you. And I'm actually going to say that the roaring of the sea does not abate. If anything, a moment later, it gets louder and more pronounced. It would actually get louder and more pronounced, except that I can't seem to find the menu's not responding to me.
Oh, filler. This show is sponsored by Orbitals Venus. Eat one. That was the slogan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orbitals Venus.
Eat one.
So, you hear the sound.
20% off wieners with code Flintlock sausage.
But no, you hear the sounds of water, of rushing waves, and you feel the now familiar sense of the ground rocking beneath you as you realise you are stood aboard a ship. You blink and you can see that it is cold, icy cold. It is the depth. It's approaching the depths of winter. There is a cold wind about you, and you are stood on the forecastle of a. Sorry, actually, it'd be the aftercastle because you're near the wheel. Of a ship, staring out at two other ships ahead of you. You recognise from your own memory the appearance of the Fawn, the merchant. I think it might be the Fawn was the merchant ship that came with them. As well as in the distance, the Charlie's Regret. And you realise that you are on the deck of the HMS Canard.
Oh, God.
You look down and recognise the body you're in, the feeling of it. And yeah, if you want to, just to reach up,
it flips the eyebrow.
You are once again back in the body of Captain Black Tusk, and there you can see. You actually remember this moment from completely the other side. You think you can actually see in tiny forms yourselves on the ship fighting as Brandy at the wheel is trying to steer the ship around. The crew aboard this ship are racing to and fro, carrying out orders. Several of them looking to you, but one person is not looking to you for orders. He is bellowing, like uncomfortably close to your ear. What are you waiting for? Shoot! Shoot! Damn it! And you see there is a young, maybe like early 20s orc, blue-grey skin, immaculately pointed and curled mustache, and not so much a naval uniform, but like he's got some medals, but rather dressed like a landward noble. And yeah, he at least definitely seems to consider you his inferior, and probably everyone else aboard the ship.
Sorry, I've got nothing to say because I'm a massive cunt.
You're damn right you are! Stop fucking about! I've ordered you! Fire on that ship!
Well, I assume I did.
What are you talking about? You haven't done anything! Right, I'm assuming command. Fire on that ship!
Oh, what? It wasn't him?
One of the shipmates calls up. This should be. Yes.
Herr Baron! It is Duke to you! Duke! Your Grace, they cannot hit the ship without firing through the phone! I gave you a command! I gave your captain a command! Do you want that promotion or not? Do not forget that if my cousin reaches the Altmark, it is over! Everything is over! I will see you swabbing decks in the worst places at the edges of the Empire if the fishes don't get you first!
You've been blaming the wrong guy here. Fuck me.
Ugh!
I mean, they're both assholes.
Someone detain this man, he's lost his mind! Now, load the cannons!
I wanna... You know how sometimes you get me to roll
Yeah,
to resist what happened?
yeah.
I would like to not.
Okay, you just let the body.
I'd like to let the moment
Body go.
happen. I might say weird stuff, but I want
Yeah.
to see where it goes.
You
I want to know
feel
what
the
happened.
intention come up to resist the order.
Is it your plan to fire through another ship?
It is my plan to settle this matter once and for all, and this takes precedence over everything.
That's fucking nuts, right?
How dare you take that tone with me?
You'd shoot your own ship. Our own ship?
Listen, when I found you,
They are not worth it.
everything is worth it when the Empire's future, my future, is at stake.
What empire are you saving if you start shooting up your own ships?
Always it is the very people with no backbone. I want to make it clear to you that you are going to order your sailors to fire on that ship no matter what, or you are never seeing either of them again. Now you feel the sense that to give in. You feel the sense that like your body wants to call out the order.
Oh, you're a real bastard, aren't you?
That's what it means to be the best.
What was your name again?
1 moment.
You will address me as your Grace, Duke Grigor of Altmark. And that a succession will be assured once my stupid bitch cousin is dead.
Oh, poor unibrow.
Also, that thing is ridiculous. Why do you not shave the middle of it?
Oh,
Fuck
Oh,
me,
I'm suddenly a
man.
big fan of Unibrow. I mean, I still hate him.
Celestia's like having an out-body experience. Maybe we need to
Literally.
protect unibrow now? Fuck, this shifts things, actually. You're a real twat. Where did you come from? Why haven't we met you before?
He proceeds to ignore
She's like,
you,
stop bothering faking
and you
being
just
the person.
watch as over the next. He doesn't like. He snaps his fingers, and some Marines come over and just sort of. They are sorry, Captain. But if you could please step away from his view.
I do, and I go and hit him in the back of the head.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Because there aren't consequences, and I want to. What attack am I using? What is that?
You're hitting him, so just like
Dex?
I guess
Or
use-
strength?
I mean, you're using. Oh yeah, you're using black tusks here. So just add 8.
Oh god, 24.
24. Okay. Yeah, you hit.
Backhand him.
You just. Do you want to backhand him?
I
Do
want
you
to
want to punch
backhand
him?
him, yeah.
You backhand him so hard it knocks the mustache awry, like one side of the mustache awry.
I just felt like someone should, you
Okay.
know, even if it's not real.
You feel the
Oh, yeah.
past crack a little because this didn't happen. I need you to roll a charisma check. A save, please. Charisma save.
I need loads. Hang on. What the fuck is my saves? Real high. That's 28.
Okay, you resist whatever's happening, but he just sees red. Cirrhosis and lunatic overboard!
I used to begin.
Okay, yeah, you can try and hit him again. Honestly, the crew are like not really sure whether to actually follow that order because he's the screaming one.
Would anyone else like a turn? It's
But-
really fun.
But roll another attack and another save against.
The attack is an 18.
Okay, that hits. You bloody his nose this time.
The save is a 24.
You feel again that splintering of reality. This time he just draws his pistol and fires at you. He just shoots you. He kind of tries to shoot you in the chest. You, like, the body's reflexes take over and you get a shoulder wound instead.
Do I have a gun?
You do!
I'm going to shoot him in the fucking face.
I mean, you're using your own ability with
She just
one,
sees
so-
red and she's like, no, fuck this.
Okay.
I'm not giving the order to
Last
sink the
one with
regret.
disadvantage. Last save with disadvantage, please.
Yeah.
'Cause-
14 is the last
Okay,
save.
and then the
Did you want the
attack,
attack? Yeah. Well, the attack's like nothing. I rolled a 2. I don't know what his gun is. So.
I mean, his gun's pretty good, but the Duke can actually dodge that. So he does fly out of the way just in time. To avoid being shot in the face, he shoots you again. This time you feel a rib splinter, and and the guards seem to see which way this is going, and you feel yourself punted overboard. But the world kind of
As I go overboard, I'm tipping over the back. No regrets.
As you hit the water, you hear the cracking of cannon as history reasserts itself, and a salvo of cannonballs fly through the form and into the regret, dealing the last critical blows that would lead to Brandy's fall.
I've never just hit someone in the past because there's no consequences. That was enormous fun. That was my genuine impulse. I was like, no, fuck you. I was not going to give the order to sink the regret under any circumstances.
No.
Absolutely not.
After 10 solid minutes of screaming, there's a moment where Celestia's body blinks.
Oh, incoming.
You
Right.
see her sit up a little, like alarmed, but upright, doesn't immediately speak, just sort of looks around, taking in the situation.
Hello? Are you alright?
Good. Looks around. I do not know what time it is. Good day.
Oh. Yeah, you did a weird blinky thing there and then looked confused. Are you getting one of your moments again?
And which moments is these?
The ones where you forget the things that were happening and you have big planks of not memory? Sometimes you get upset when we do that, so we tied you up so you wouldn't hurt yourself. What do you remember just happening?
Roll a deception check, and I think this is solidly. You know what? No. Roll a charisma save. I'm spending one of the truths.
That is a 23.
Yes. You keep making the DC for these. Fair enough.
It was a fun lie. I had to try.
Yeah. Do you still roll deception with disadvantage, please?
Some really fucked up lying happening.
How many truths have you got left?
That's only a 13 with disadvantage. Oh,
Yeah, you've got
otherwise
3.
It would have been a 28.
You have 3 truths remaining.
Dear.
So
Eking him out.
Yeah, he's not
for
going to
the
believe
whole
this.
campaign. Okay. You feel that bitter taste in your tongue, but you manage to force the words out. Regardless, Celestia narrows, for the moment, his eyes. I see. Who are you and what have you done for me?
Okay, that didn't work. Worth a try. It's a weird magical side effect. We just had 10 minutes of solid screaming from the last person. You'll go back afterwards to your own situation.
Point of origin?
Yeah. And it'll be fine. Who are you? Sorry, we should have been doing this if that had worked, we could have been it would have been fine, you wouldn't have worried. That was worth a try. It's been a long week.
I'm sorry for your discomfort.
Have we met?
He
You seem
says.
familiar.
I do not believe so. Being as you are the kidnappers in this situation, I believe
Oh, no,
it
not at all.
rather...
We didn't kidnap you.
You're possessing our friend, so, I'd say you're the invasive force here.
looks down.
Goodness, it's a lot if you look down at yourself and you're Celestia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you members of the masquerade?
No.
No.
Oh!
But
You know the
what makes you think that?
Yeah.
This
It's pretty
seems...
I mean, can you not feel that it feels pretty real? It's a different shape entirely.
I'm informed that well-executed illusions can convince your sense of proprioception is firm.
Yeah. Does that work on yourself?
I do
Like,
not know.
I don't know either.
You tell
That's
me.
Interesting. I'm not a wizard. I don't know.
However, being as your intents seem to be questionable, as you have yet to provide any name with which...
Oh, hi. I'm Scamp.
And who do you work for, then?
I work for him.
She studies you, nods, looks to you, Corzin.
Good luck you answering that question.
You have the bearing and the appearance of a mariner.
Are you
Correct.
a mariner?
Quite a number of years of experience.
Would I be right in guessing that that's also your profession?
It is. Yeah. Very well. I will be straight with you if you will be straight with me.
All right.
Siemens
Really?
Very well. I am Captain. I think it is actually. I've named two characters very similarly here, but I think this is Grey rather than Grey. I am Captain Gregor Blacktusk of the HMS Canal.
Okay, you see Corzin's fist clench and then release.
Captain, is it?
Mm-hmm. I
what-
would appreciate knowing whether my crew are alive and what you've done with them.
What's the date?
It is-
It sounds like a non sequitur. I promise you, it's relevant.
That is an excellent question. It's time for It's time for Jason to check the old
So
Calcinea
far back in my notes.
Calcinea timeline and see whether.
Use code www for 25% off all your wieners at Wolvertinswieners.
I don't actually have that specific date. I believe it was it was just after Alder's night. It was a couple of days
Yeah,
after
like
Alder's
a
night.
day or two
I
afterwards.
want to say it was the 25th of. We passed full frost, it would be full frost. No. It was I'm going to say it was the 25th of full frost, but I don't have those notes in front of me. I think I might just be thinking of it being episode 24 and 25.
It
Yeah.
was episode 24 and 25, yeah.
Full frost comes after first flurry, so yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna.
Sadly,
actually,
I
no,
think
it
I was in my
4th
other
of the
notebook
5th.
at that point.
I actually do not have the binder with me that has the early episode notes in, but
A really old notebook might have it. But
For the moment, then we'll say the 5th, and I'm sure the eagle-eared, bat-eared stowaways who've been keeping track of this will be able to correct me. It was, last I was aware, the 4th of fall snow. Sorry, full frost.
And, hate to be pedantic, but the year?
1797.
Oh.
Merciful Regent.
Oh.
You didn't happen to be in the middle of a naval conflict, did you?
As a matter of fact, yes, I did, and
What-
I have
what was
introduced
just
myself. Yourself, then, sir?
Commodore Corzin Horhace.
Which navy?
My own.
Ah, a pirate, privateer, or simply an aggressive shipping engagement?
Sort of all of the above.
What was just happening?
Merchant at arms, sir.
Like, you were in some sort of encounter, were you?
I was ordered to I was ordered to engage with a ship known to be carrying a fugitive.
Is that what you were told?
A fugitive.
That is
An
perhaps the best.
Syrian fugitive?
His head cocks a little. Yeah. Of some political sensitivity.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I take it then that you... If I may be blunt, do you work for the old Duchess?
No, not anymore. And not really ever. Wrong place, wrong time.
So often it is the way.
So, what was the exact last thing that you remember? Just
Before whatever spell you cast on me?
yeah.
My superior, Baron the well, currently, this would be this would be yes, there we go. My superior, the current Baron von Altmaier, heir apparent to the Duchy of Altmark, Grigori von Altmaier, had given me an order to engage. He twitches a little. To fire on the ship in question.
Through your
And you
own
did
ship.
so?
Did you
His
do that?
eyes widen.
Did you do it yet?
If you're asking about the last moments before I appeared, wherever this is,
Yeah.
I was pretending not to have heard that particular order.
Oh. But so it hasn't. Ugh. I hate that we can't change things. Like, this is the perfect moment where you make that little change. It's
Your friends.
already set.
They are. He
Were you
seems to put
going
things
to give
together.
the order? Were you going to obey that order?
Like, you said you were pretending not to hear it. That only works so far. I do that every morning.
Are you from the future?
Oh. Yeah. Were you going to do it?
Well,
Sorry.
Sorry,
I
I've just got to. You're from. Why am I in this elf woman's body?
Oh, it's a whole
Fuck,
swapping
I-
places thing, but it's
It is only a temporary state of affairs.
Like some sort of leap.
yeah, like a
Sort of.
quantum thing.
Wasn't gonna go.
Oh boy. He seems like
Who was giving this order? Like,
the
don't
Baron.
get us wrong, I'm still not a fan of you, regardless of whether you were pretending not to hear an order, which does make me like you marginally more, but the Baron did that. Okay, well I can add him to the list of people we need to make go splat.
Were you going to fire on your own ships?
Give me a moment to see what he would have done in the moment.
In that moment, what was
In
his...
that moment, given that he doesn't know what happens next. He looks a little offended at the insinuation. I'm hardly going to shoot through my own ship. I'm sure that if we continue a few moments long, that had the battle continued, we would have found an opportunity.
You don't though, mate. It happens, which is interesting that you think you won't right now, because
He
it
thinks-
happens. So either you didn't do it, and I still hate you. That doesn't change that.
Roll
Or something changes in a few seconds and you change your mind.
Roll a persuasion check.
Or 15.
He narrows his eyes and then widens them. Of course. He has them.
Who?
My children.
The Baron.
They've
Are you talking about the Baron?
close enough. So that would explain why he was so insistent upon getting them to go to that boarding school.
Which boarding school?
I'm not telling you where my children go to school.
Oh no, that's a really good point. Actually, I was just suddenly going.
How
Someone's
did you
got
first get
someone's
involved
children
with this,
threatened. I want to get them
Baron?
out. That's not helpful.
I will answer that if you answer me this, and please be very honest.
We're good at honesty.
What is the date?
The
The date,
current
by the way,
date
is the 21st.
Thank
is-
you!
is the
just said I
21st
would
of
be
Falling
honest.
Leaves, 1798.
He studies you just like for for a moment and then slowly nods. Huh. If you really are in the future. Or that, or you are completely insane. Either way, how did I first become... Well, the old Duchess was a patron of the... I suppose you could say me and others that she took favour in. She helped someone like me, someone who's not a blue blood, to find a position of merit and rank within the Navy. She helped me out, and she and in time her nephew also came to be something of my patron. Though I had less fondness for him than for her grace.
Right.
Simply put, it is not enough to be capable to get ahead and ensure your commission within the Navy. One must have the support of patrons, and they expect... Then you say you're a man of the sea like myself. You know what true loyalty means, yeah?
Yes.
And you know it is not something that can be inherited like a horse. Or a
No,
house.
although plenty of people seem to think that way.
The Baron is just such a man. But... he shakes his head. I suppose perhaps he is the Duke now, depending. Her Grace was not long for this world.
No.
Yeah,
Well.
I think he is, isn't he? Is that right?
As far as we know, yes. And
Like, it sounds to me that your country needs a revolution. We're really good at them, like we're freelance revolutionaries these days. Do you want us to come over and start one?
Revolution? There's not been a successful revolution in Jova. Well, not since the glorious revolution in Osirian, and we all learned why that was a terrible disaster.
Yeah, you've missed a year, mate. A lot's happened.
Clearly.
There's been loads.
Well, I suppose if I had one thing to say about the future, it would be
Oh, for
blink.
every time.
You're an asshole.
Every time.
It would be that I just love these Venus that you can get every... No. Celestia, you blink and you're back in the chair.
Celestia?
Are you
Well,
all
how
right?
was that? Imagine it was exciting for you.
They didn't go for my clever
Complicated.
ruse. They never go for the clever ruse. I guess.
Alright, come on. Let's get her out of here.
You have definitely got Oscar from the future with the clever ruse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not that clever ruses.
Both times
they're
I've
ruses.
Yeah.
both times
gonna
I've
start
been
releasing
Black
Celestia.
Tusk, I've been an asshole, and I think it's very telling.
Okay. At which point, Holton goes, "You done?
Yeah,
We're done.
yeah. Yes.
Right. You've got 5 minutes because I need to get to this. I'm getting to this council strategy meeting. Please just resolve whatever
Oh,
you
yeah,
can.
we're supposed
but
to be there, aren't
yeah,
We'll
you
meet
need
you
to be
there?
there. We need to talk about the mission and everything.
Okay, meet you there in 5.
Right. He picks up a sheaf, he picks up a handful of notes, and on his way out, thrusts them into the chest of one of the sending mages who's coming back. Sorry, not the sending mages. One of the clerics who's coming back in to do sendings. Just send these off to the appropriate people, would you? Right. So you speak.
Well, we've got another person to spy on when we next get the opportunity.
Do message stones. Did you get all the same information I did? They had somebody of Black Tusks? Or...
Kids at a boarding school.
His
fuck,
children.
it was his kids. Fuck me, I'm
Yeah.
really glad I hit him then.
Who did you hit? Black
I wish he had the presence of mind to do that.
Face?
Yeah, I hit the horrible Duke in the face because I just thought someone should. It was really good,
definitely.
honestly.
Can
Obviously
you
it
break
didn't
into a
stick.
boarding school and rescue some children, or is that just going to get us seriously arrested by everyone?
Possibly seriously arrested by everyone, unless we get Black Tusk himself involved.
I mean, if he's still got his kids, we totally should, and there's no way he's going to listen to us.
Well, maybe we should find out where this Grigori von Altmaier is.
I mean,
Yes. I enjoyed hitting him and would like to do so again, to be honest.
I know you can't kill all your political enemies, that's a bad thing to do, but just this one more.
Just one more political assassination.
Just a little one. Just a little treat. We've been ever so good.
Just want to kill a duke.
Well, if we
Killing
get
a
the
duke
opportunity at this
never
point.
causes world wars. It's fine.
Never. It'll be fine. Absolutely.
He's not an
fine.
archduke.
Never
It'll only
been
be a
known.
regular war.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Just a
I
little
turn a penny.
small war. A little one. Oh, I miss Brandy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird seeing
Unfortunately,
it
he
from
didn't.
far away.
That was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was weird. It was really
Yep.
weird. Well, we know more things than we did. Interesting.
Yes, we do.
I feel a bit bad. I already did feel bad about, the flying, crashing both times, but now I know he wasn't complicit with killing his own people in the first place. It's a bit. It's even worse. It was bad. Don't get me wrong. It was terrible. We did it for the right reasons, but I still don't think maybe it was the method. There should have been a different way. But
Most of it also wasn't you, my darling.
for the first bit was.
Yeah, the first bit was.
Yeah, no,
I was trying to help.
Anyway. I know, thank you. It is appreciated, but it's now even. Ugh, guys got it rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I
seems
have
so.
sympathy for Black Tusk. Today is all manner of plot twists.
Owie.
But if they've got your kids, what are you supposed to do?
Whatever they say until you get the point to put a fireball in the back of their head.
Yeah.
That would
Like if somebody,
He hasn't
I
yet.
don't have kids, but if somebody had either of you, I'd probably have done it.
Yeah. If someone had little Corzin.
Yeah,
You've
easy.
already seen what happens when that happens, and I don't ever
oh,
intend to have
yeah.
that happen again.
Yeah.
Ever.
We're all the same without little Corzin on that front, don't worry.
Oh yeah. I took on an unknown favour to save little Corzin.
Alright.
We should go to this meeting.
This is a lot to think
Yeah.
about, but it's
There's no time.
all pretty much moot until we cross paths with Black Tusk again.
Yeah, but I'm going to add
Yeah.
Kill the Duke to my to-do list anyway.
Oh yeah. That's easily.
Now, do I put it before or after Kill the Kraken? That's the next question. Like, is this a bigger, harder task?
We'll know more about that when we know exactly where he is and what he's doing now.
That's fair. Right. Let's go do a plotting.
You look up and you see there's a well-dressed minister of St. Fury going, can I have my chair back, please?
Oh God, sorry. Very
Yes,
weird
thank you for
few
your
minutes.
time.
Apologies.
Thank you. Awkwardly sits down, glances at the manacle scuffing, and just puts 2 fingers to his head and gets a pen and paper. Returns to his job. You head back out to the council chambers. What is left of the war council of Newmark is gathered, which at this point is Alton. Edine is here, as is another Meadmerish woman, who you presume is probably Guernsey, but could be someone else. You've never seen her before, but she clearly got in. There is now also gathered. Interestingly enough, there is gathered. There is a. Who would it be? Actually, no. She's not. So it would just be those two. But there is also an appearance from some of the Bellfounders. No sign of Lady Grace, although actually no, Vivienne would not be here either if Lady Grace wasn't here. No, actually no, Vivienne would be here on the schedule. So Vivienne is here in place of Lady Grace. You also recognise the Bellfounders, Hannah Solomon, the financier, Jacob Lamb, somewhat overweight, ostensibly merchant who seems to know a lot of things, and of course your fellow privateer Torfast Scorch, head of the captain of the Lightning, who tips tips his fingers to his head. He's taken his hat off as you enter, giving you a wide orcish grin. Pleasure to see you this morning, Commodore and Celestia. Alton kind of claps his hands together. Right, absolutely. Trust everything's sorted out to your satisfaction?
Oh yeah, fantastic. Wonderful. Glorious.
Yes.
Good. Right.
Please continue.
Thank you. So, as we were saying, we are about ready to receive our last, those 1,000 reinforcements that we were looking for. They come up from training just outside of Thunder's Watch, and they've been travelling by night for the most part for the last few days in order to get as far as they have. However, we've had the point now where they need to be marching the last 8 hours of the journey if they want to be getting to the city in time. He looks to Hannah, who coughs. We don't currently have confirmation on when exactly the Orsirian flotilla will arrive. Indeed, it's only thanks to a tip-off that I believe she notes to you, your team provided, that we know that they are due to be arriving tomorrow for sure at all. I don't suppose you've... she looks around generally. I don't suppose we've had any sendings confirming when exactly our own naval support is due to arrive? Alton shakes his head. Nothing through from the Scarlet Winds that's come through to our sending room, at least.
Okay.
But we did know that they are due to arrive tomorrow as well. Again, depending on what time tomorrow is really going to really potentially might make a difference. But
do you need someone to check in with them? Someone with a spare sending or two?
We have actually, I think. Yeah, he just says, I've been asking them to send to Briggs, because obviously I know the man. And the last sending we had, it was about 2 days ago, from the Basilisk's mage, which I guess would be the captain, who just confirmed that they are due to arrive on the 22nd, but it's still, it's weather dependent on whether they're going to make the morning or the afternoon.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Could
That's
be on your
stressful,
side at
isn't
noon
it?
right now. They said that they're doing as much to help with the wind as they can. But there's 3 ships. There's at least 3 ships. Sorry, no, there's 4 ships. You gave them an extra. But there's 4 ships coming, and they've only got mages to blow wind up the sails of 2 of them.
Yeah.
Understood. All right.
So, what that means is we have to assume that this last group of reinforcements needs to be into the city before dawn. Now, if they start their march now, they'll get here definitely by dusk, at least. Or we could have them set off at dusk and arrive by dawn. Of course, if we do the former, it's going to be a lot easier to spot them. If we do the latter, they're going to get into the fight tired, potentially, depending on when the others arrive.
Now, I like the idea of them turning up half-cocked.
That would be very bad.
Indeed. Fortunately, as we discussed a few days ago, we have our 2 strike teams to help assist with this. Our main goal, whatever time we tell them to come, will be to blind the enemy or keep them distracted long enough that they don't realise we've got 1,000 troops incoming. The Midmirish girl raises her hand. For our part, the Sunset Girls are inclined to take care of the scout patrols. They have they have most of their cavalry dispersed and acting as riders, messengers and scouts. We have managed to infiltrate some of their ranks already, and we believe we will be able to tie up or potentially take out different members of the scouts. We believe we may be able to mix up some orders about who should be scouting where. That should buy us a little time, but it's going to be keeping our hands very full. Unless, of course, your team decides that you want to be dealing with this instead, in which case we'd be figuring out a way to distract the diviners. There's a little bit of a wince from her at that one. Quite so. I believe you previously expressed an interest in seeing what you could do about the Goldhawks.
I'd love to fuck up the designers. But how do I speak? This is not Celestia talking. I'd love to fuck up the diviners. How are you 2 feeling?
I think that's definitely a military asset we need to negate, because
They
it's
were
one thing
such
that
a
they
problem.
have at the moment that we don't in the same way.
No.
And it was a major factor in our last encounter with them.
Oh, it nearly fucked us up, yeah.
The Dean snorts. I will say, their ability to target artillery through pea soup fog is not to be laughed at.
What a fucking nightmare.
Exactly.
As far as we can tell, they're doing it from their fortification.
Well, they have the cannon at Fort Beatrix can't actually reach the city reliably. What got us previously... Oh, sorry, yes, the dividing. I was going to say they do actually have the mobile artillery, but yes, everything we found suggests that they are indeed based entirely within Fort Beatrix. Jacob, do you want to fill in what you know?
Well, I've had a limited amount of success with getting people solidly on the inside. I have information, but you're not, and maybe I could get one person into the right position at the right time. But they ain't going to be throwing open the gates to let an army in, if you get my meaning. However, we do have confirmation about the presence of who's in the Fort of Interest right now. We know that the Gold Hawks are holed up there, probably at least some of them in the sending room, so that they can scry outwards. We also know that the Resurrectionists have pulled back into the fortress to conduct their business as well, since whatever the people-eating ant infestation happened.
Nothing to do with us.
Right. Anyway, we also know that the it's not the fire starters. You've destroyed them. The bear paws are currently stationed in the fort as well, which means right now all of their mage strength is concentrated in one highly defensible location.
All of their eggs are in one basket.
And if the basket was protected as that, I'd probably do the same. I mean, that's literally what we're doing. Now, I do want to point out, while it would absolutely be a strategic asset for us or rather a strategic advantage to get rid of any of those assets the enemy has, what we really need is to keep them distracted for the ideally the whole of the 8 hours, but definitely the last 4 hours of the march. At that point, Apple Blossom, what was it you said? Basically, they're within range of the scouts at that point. And they're close enough that the radius of the search isn't utterly ludicrous for those diviners to be looking through, which means they have a chance of spotting them. Now, granted, that chance increases the closer they get, but it really starts to be difficult to hide 1,000 people, especially 1,000 recruits who have not trained to move over land. These aren't halflings we're talking about here. Most of them are humans or orcs, right, without being seen. So that's when it's going to get particularly important for us to get the scouts in place. Now, don't get me wrong. They might, if they get spotted in the last half hour, they can probably just run to the river. We're going to have boats ready to pick them up as soon as they get to the south, to the meeting point. But if the enemy spot them before that point, then they can maneuver troops into position, cut them off, and surround them. And we are not really going to be able to bring much to bear on them at that point without risking, well, the troops we already have. We were currently, outside of the three of you, we are really lacking in artillery that we can fire landward right now.
All right.
Which I cannot say the same for them. So, keeping them distracted, if you can't blind them, will definitely help us out. Fortunately, I have been able to keep them distracted for the last few days. My sources have been able to leak information, says Jacob,
suggesting that there are indeed additional forces coming. It's getting hard to hide there. But that they will be arriving downriver from the east via barge, as the arms shipment we received did with Lady Grace. I have made sure to hire a series of wagon and boats heading this way, several of which have already been stopped, searched, and turned back. So for the moment at least, their attention is eastward rather than south, which is where our reinforcements are going to be coming from. I'm not... Here's the thing. If you can distract them for the last 4 hours of the march, we can get our people in. If you're going to kill them, we need at least 4 of the 6 dead. That's enough to break their ability to function as a unit. And if at all possible, snuff bag them or ash the bodies so that they can't be raised. Because right now, those fucking redcoats have a lot of experienced clerics, including one that we know can bring back the dead.
Right. How many soldiers are we talking here in terms of the scouting regiments?
Well, the scouting looks over to Alton, who takes some reports, can bring some from me. Right. Well, in terms of the scouting regiments, it's actually just the two regiments of cavalry they have, but they're split up into small scouting squads. If you mean what are we looking at in terms of in and around the fort, though?
That would be helpful to know.
Okay, so they've currently pulled up most of they've got their forces chiefly quartered around there. Now, don't get me wrong, we've got people, they've got 2 regiments of redcoats, living redcoats, that are encamped within it, which is pretty much what the living troops that they do have. They're doing a lot of their patrols and external enforcement with the resurrectionist battalions. Got lots of the Reclamation Corps out there right now, but that's still about 1,000 people. Now, granted, a lot of them are likely to be off duty at any point. You need to be assuming at least 300 infantry. Regular redcoat musket infantry within the fort. Few cavalry, because they're already deployed. But, well, the coastal, if they don't, depending on when they spot you, the artillery may or may not come in. They've got the fort is built to be able to bring up to, this is divided by, up to 24 guns on the coast at any one time. So the total complement is actually, they're actually geared up for 32 emplacements, 8 per side, and they've got 2 units of mobile artillery, so 16 guns that they can bring up to the walls as well. If it gets to the point where they're shooting cannons at you, hide, because they have enough of them to bring. Up close, according to the information left over from some of the defectors who've spoken to us, and a little bit of persuasion on the part of the fire starters that you acquired, we've been able to infer a little bit more. They have 4 swivel guns for dealing with anti-air, as best we know. They weren't like the ones. They weren't like the ones back on the ship.
Right, got it.
The ones we had back on the Regret and other ones. So they have full vertical fire, definitely up to at least 600 feet above ground. Which, given that they'll mount them on
bastions around the outside of the fort is about 600 feet up. Definitely beyond most reliable firing range down, which is the point.
Yeah.
They're fighting against eagle riders. They're planning against eagle riders at that point. Beyond that, depends what you want to know. We've got limited information about what defenses they have that they may have put up since they arrived. So I don't know anything about any defenses the wizards might have put up. We haven't got solid information on that. Jacob, you mentioned something.
Yeah, I did. Actually, yes. We do have one confirmation. They are definitely anticipating something since ever since the incident at the graveyard. They've been burning red candled lanterns that give out near the entrance to the fort. Anyone who comes in through the entrance has to pass by that lantern. They're keeping it burning at all hours.
Are they the mage ones?
I'm not. Right. I don't think we have a lot of. Actually, I forgot to mention they were there, but Janhaus and Fidelity Peters will be here as well, the Cleric of St. Fury and the Elder of St. Purity. So at this point, Elder Fidelity chimes in. I've encountered these before. The Mage's Lantern. When they are lit, any spells that are cast, any enchantments that are ongoing, will be highlighted within their glow. There's a good chance they're looking at
there were some at the bank. That's where we've seen them before. Those were
When
very
we
colourful.
visited-
When we visited the bank under normal circumstances.
That time, yeah.
There's a few odd looks, except for Vivienne, who just like smirks into her coffee. She's brought coffee. She's drinking.
Who doesn't blank with G&G?
Exactly.
We're getting off topic.
Right.
Still looks down at the table wide-eyed for a second and then carries on with what she was doing.
Anyway, beyond that, we are short on information. As I said, we can't guarantee getting someone inside, and I'm pretty sure that Jacob's one informant is just a regular member of the infantry.
With
So,
regards to illusions, like Celestia, the big illusion that you can do, if someone had the ability to dispel that, would they just need to get to the edge of it to start dispelling it, or would they have to get to the point it was originally cast?
I have no idea.
At this point,
You're talking Mirage Arcane, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
Minister Young, not to be outdone by Elder Fidelity, cuts in. From my own experience with these things, just so long as you can get to the area of effect is usually enough to dispel illusions and so on.
It's a pretty big one, so it would be a bit hard to dispel, but they'd probably manage it eventually.
My thinking was, even if they know that, a certain amount of area is affected by an illusion, if it's a mile wide, they're going to have a lot of, they're going to have a very hard time figuring out what is and isn't real.
Depends on
Yeah,
what
but
it
they
is,
get
I
rid of it
suppose.
really
Yeah.
quickly, potentially.
No, but if it looked like something plausible.
Yeah. Also, on a similar note, if they're expecting us to try and sneak more reinforcements into the city, then I think possibly one of the best things we can do is give them the runaround with illusory troops that are not anywhere near where the real ones are going to be.
I do like that.
I don't suppose you can do that Nightmare Forest trick, but like make it look like there's 3,000 infantry coming in?
I was thinking that. They wouldn't be able to move, though, is the thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
You'd literally have to,
it's-
it has to be statues. You'd literally have to be statues.
Yeah, it'd have to be fixed like they were trees or something. Can't actually create life.
Yeah, you're not as. You're not a god.
I can do pretend small platoons. I can do a 20-foot cube sort of situation.
That
What's our
might be enough.
priority, though? Like, what are we doing? Are we causing a distraction so that they can get them in, or are we trying to take out the diviners?
It does occur to me that trying to take out the diviners could be a pretty fucking decent distraction, and
That's
it might
the
save
thing.
us some aggro later on. But
Yeah.
equally, this
Yeah.
sounds terrifying, and we need to not get one of us killed.
I'm not
I
gonna lie.
Yeah, I have no idea how to do this.
The three of you have some frankly insane capabilities, so I don't feel comfortable ordering you to do one or the other. I mean, I'm ordering you to do one or the other, either one. But you tell me which one sounds more doable for you, because I watched Scamp sink 3 ships once.
Yeah,
A week
but then I
ago.
was like properly dead for a while. Well, not nearly dead for a while.
Yeah, enough to
If
talk
we-
about that.
Yeah, can we light your topics? Not
If
really
we
light
can
your topics,
combine
but
the distraction for the cavalry along with taking out the diviners, then so much the better. I think.
Maybe it might be worth making it look like we're trying to take them out, but actually doing a load of flashy stuff.
Yeah, is there anything under the normal course of circumstances that would get that that load of cavalry recalled back to the to Fort Beatrix?
they take a few moments to think. So if you can think of anything, feel free to chime in before they come up with something.
Okay.
Somebody dying, scary
Well,
rumours.
They're probably going to have similar safeguards to us with regards to sending and receiving
Surely.
orders via magic, but
I mean, if we could get their passcodes, that'd be amazing.
yeah, if we could do that, then we could issue orders for them just to return to the fort. It's or
thing is-
go wherever we want.
Jacob Lamb kind of puts up a hand here. If you can get me a copy of one of their core pass books, we can. Oh, they'll probably they change everything within a week, but for the next 2 days.
All right, I think I've got an idea. They've got to have a sending room similar to ours, right?
Yes.
In which they would have a sending mage similar to ours who would have to have that passbook. It's not going to be protected because otherwise it doesn't work for sending. Could we scry on that?
What good would scrying on it do if it's in the middle of a fortress?
Well, if we can
it's in the
look at
sending room.
the sending room with the book with the actual passcodes for the day on it.
I would need the.
That could work, actually.
These books tend to be in excess of 20 pages long. They'll keep a record for each individual squad leader that squad leader division that they're going to. Everyone only knows their own password things. I need the whole book, unless they go through the book while you're watching and you're able to memorize everything by sight. That's not gonna work. I need a copy of either I either need you to somehow see every page, or I need the book itself.
Do we know where it
Each
would
of the
be?
sending mages will probably have one.
Right.
They do, I believe. He gets some notes of his own actually in Scamp's room. Okay, they have confirmed. Yeah, okay. They do actually have a total of 4 sending mages whose job it is to just be sending mages, separate from the mage batteries. Although I think they pull a little bit of double duty when they need to. They don't actually have as much sending capability as us. Because the way that the redcoats are organized, they pack more of a punch with mages, but they actually rely a lot more on conventional communication.
All right.
Which also uses the pest books, so...
Right.
So this passport would be incredibly useful. That's good to know. But
Well, that's got to be
We
secondary, though.
we've got to make a decision on what our priority here is. Are we going for the gold rules? Is that...
The
I
only
think
reason
aggravating
can
them is going to give us more of an advantage overall.
It is,
I'm
but
not
do we
saying
trust...
aggravating them. I'm saying getting rid of them.
Yes.
You were saying
That is a lot.
before about the cavalry. The only thing I can think of as a reason to get the cavalry together is if I needed them to, if I felt there was a gain in being able to reach something that the infantry couldn't get to in time and was far enough out that I couldn't just take it out with a cannon, which in fairness is only a range of a mile. Maybe it'd have to be something that was worth grabbing both units of, even one unit of cavalry would do, but something that individual squads could take out themselves. But that's just all I can think of. If that helped, if obviously that may or may not factor into your plan. If you want to just go ahead and try and kill him.
I don't know if we can. I mean, fort for 300...
I know, but
Yeah, it's
what
a
if this
lot.
is our only chance?
Well, if our only chance isn't doable, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're not going to get a chance.
I just feel like distracting them so we can get some troops into the city is alright, but it does nothing to stop them later on.
It does, but we need a plan, like
I'm not
like a
saying we don't
real
plan,
one.
but- oh no.
What I'd say, sorry.
And possibly help. I mean, there's 3 of us.
All right. I've got a.
One thing that I would say, actually, though, I think, and this is the thing we need to decide now within this meeting, is when we tell the reinforcements to set off, if whether we want them to be trying to come so that they during the daytime, so they can get rest before if the fight starts in the morning, or whether we want them to be making their journey at night. Either way, you're going to have at least 4 hours to make your preparations.
Ugh.
I don't suppose there's something we could do that would be long-term distracting for them that they would have to take seriously.
Something that would really harm their war effort. I guess at this point, what I want to know is, do you think you've got a better chance of pulling this off at night? And if so, is it worth the risk of those reinforcements being tired when the fight starts?
And we definitely have a better chance of pulling this off at night. Like, that's not in question. It's just whether it's worth it or not. I mean, they have a better chance of pulling it off at night. They have a better chance of getting in uninterrupted at night.
Given the makeup of the force, I think getting them in at night is the better option.
But equally, what if we die because the soldiers are tired?
Also, half of them won't be able to see.
That's true, but it's also
That's
true
true.
for the Osirians.
Alton kind of thinks about this for a moment and nods. Nah. You got similar instincts to me on this one. I think that hard as it's going to be to get the fight in tomorrow if they're tired, I'd rather have them than risk them getting cut off, probably by that cavalry, and caught a pincer before we can get them into the city. I'll make the call then. We'll get them to rest up as much as they can and stay under cover. And then when sun comes down, we'll have them march overnight.
Yeah, I guess tell them to sleep now.
And get them to rest up as much as they can. Still going to be tired after 8 hours of marching, but but we can at least give them the good odds of it. So, Miss, tell the Sunset Girls we'll be taking this. This needs to start as soon as the sun goes down. Of course. And for the three of you, you've got the day to prepare at least. Obviously, if you can't kill them before we even start the march, that's great, but...
Oh, right, lovely, yeah.
Just one thing to be aware of, take your own rest into account as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
There isn't a cliff we can march them over, can we? I'm thinking illusions.
There is actually a cliff. There's cliffs all along the edges of the coast. If you, most of the coast, a lot of the coast is actually a surprising amount of the coast actually has cliffs on it, including Fort Beatrix. Which is actually built specifically because it's an elevated bit over a cliff.
That wouldn't work for long, though. Like, they wouldn't keep going.
Well, not unless you can cause an earthquake.
But like, the first line would walk over the cliff and fall through the floor, and then everyone would go, oh, we better stop. Like, 5 people would be dealt with, you know?
No, unless you...
It depends.
Yeah, shame we can't just bring the entire fort down, but I think that is actually a little bit beyond the powder we have to just take out the entire foundation.
It would be good, though.
Scamp, you can't summon earthquakes, can you?
Not real ones. I can just make the floor feel like it's going a little bit.
I was joking, but that is terrifying. Thank you. Alright then. I think we need to be making... take the day, take the time to prepare. And I want to reinforce this. If the mission fucks up, abort. We need the 3 of you alive for tomorrow. As well as we need those troops.
Understood.
You are as... as valuable to this fight, if not 2 or 3 times as valuable as their mage batteries are.
Yeah.
No
And
pressure.
we're also priority military targets for them.
So, if it looks like it's going to be, frankly, it looks like certain death. Don't be heroes on this occasion.
Understood.
We'll try and... If it ends up being a rush
Scamp,
out
you got it?
to get those troops,
I
we
promise
will.
to try.
No. You promise. You don't try, you do.
I do.
Thank you.
We can't afford any fuck-ups on this one.
Good luck. Regent be with you.
And also with you.
And there's a rolling of the eyes from the 2 priests. Go, Sinfuri's blessings go with you. Give them hell. And of course the wisdom of Sinfuri be with you. Wow! It's gotten suddenly very. Oh, I cannot move for all of these saints. Right.
Honestly,
I'm going to
can we please get less saints in this room? I feel unusual. Ugh.
At least it's not part of that snake cult.
Yeah, that actually makes me less uncomfortable.
Yeah. Those guys are a bit weird. They asked me. I got a message asking how good our forces were at fighting in the dark, and then something about eating the sun.
That's a point, actually.
That's worrying. I mean, they're extremely distracting if we're looking for a distraction.
Yeah. Do you think we could get Poppy to pull that trick?
Maybe. Or
Because that's something nobody could ignore.
even just be a big scary snake man and his army of bugs would probably do it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's pretty fucking distracting, isn't it?
It is, but I will. But right now we've got them behind the just also high-level military assets. So you do what you think is best, but I will. If it looks like they're going to get absolutely butchered, giant snake or not, I will ask them. I will order them come back in to the city. Just so you know.
Rather we didn't take them. Fair.
Where are they stationed currently?
Oh, they're stationed within the city, which is to say that they're buying and eating a lot of meat and scattered all about, and leans close between you and me. All the priests are throwing an absolute hissy fit over the cult that's popping up.
A hissy fit. Does that mean they're joining in?
A big old snake person starts a cult in your town. I mean, a big old snake person helps save your town. It's a good reason to start a cult on them.
I
How come we
suppose.
haven't got a cult yet?
Not really what our focus
Okay,
was.
meeting adjourned. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for
Sorry.
coming.
Bye.
You head on out, and as the sun continues to rise in the morning of the 21st of falling leaves, burdened with knowledge of the past, threatened by the tasks that lie in the future, you have the day to prepare, one way or another, to deal with the Goldhawks, though it may mean heading straight into the Lion's Den. But that is a quest for next time. Thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
The past is a fraught path to tread, but not to what yet lies ahead. But if you would see futures free, then break the chain of destiny.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.